everybody know who I want next. I want Terrence Crawford next.
You're going to make that happen?
Huh?
You're going to make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps and I'm going to go over there and take his shit too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
Thank you, man. Now, strap season, y'all know what time it is, baby. Terrence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
All right.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the board. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he codes with focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that can end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibes, I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a peace, man. I ain't got no time for appeasement. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up.
If I let my dogs off the leash, then you might want to get out of Dodge while they eat. Honestly, think it's not the blood and the beat. And they don't leave anything behind after eating.
I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating? If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a... When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they wanna call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob, with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibes, I'm the kingpin.
In the building, you know how we do. Got a good fight coming up this weekend. You know what I'm saying? We've been waiting to see, Abdullah Mason versus Albert Prince Bell. Should be a damn pretty good fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Looking up the backstory and everything, has nothing to do with Abdullah Mason, right? He's just the current WBO champion. The problem is that Albert Bell and his issues with the WBO, because he was passed up for a title shot with the opportunity with Emanuel Navarrate, right? And they protected Emanuel, you know what I'm saying? Because, he moved up to fight Denny Belchek, you know what I'm saying, who's supposed to have been a hard hit at the time, but he was and get that victory. And then, of course, he unified with Nunes, right? But what they did was they boxed out Albert Prince Bell, right? Who was a damn pretty good fighter. You know what I'm saying? I really never, I had to go back and watch some of his fights, and I see why he was a problem for, Shakur Stevenson. He's a long, lanky fighter, 73-inch reach. And, he really didn't want to fight a pure boxer, you know what I'm saying, with that kind of ability. The guy was, 28 wins, and he has 9 knockouts. So he's not they say he got power, but hell, 9 knockouts, 28 fights, I don't know. You got to tell me. What's going on, 300 Gabe? What's happening? What's up, Mike? I see you out there. So he's not a Mike Tyson type puncher, but what he is he's like kind of like a Shakur Stevenson mirror. He's kind of mirror Stevenson, but to me he's more aggressive. He has a more aggressive style than Stevenson. So he tried to put pressure on you with those long ass arms. And I think Stevenson, him being 6 foot, with Albert being 6 foot tall and a 73-inch reach, I don't think Stevenson wanted to fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, didn't want to fight Albert. So Top Rank let him go. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of like on a fight by fight basis with the promotional companies that he's with, and he's just kind of like an independent fighter, and that kind of hurt him a lot in this industry. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the fighters who see his size at that weight division, they really don't want to take that low risk. That it's like a high risk, low reward type of situation. And even though he's, say an excellent fighter, say, in boxing it's about the politics, it's about who you with. So this is the problem. This is the problem. The problem is this guy's actually pretty motherfucking good. And the problem is that Abdullah Mason is just starting to get his experience in. Now this could be an educational fight. It could be a nice educational fight for Abdullah Mason. You know what I'm saying? Because he needs some tough fights. But do we need one this goddamn tough? You know what I'm saying? This guy here, hell, he's looking to be a champion himself, which all fighters are looking to be champions. But this guy can actually pull it off now, but he's a little bit older because he started in 2013, you know what I'm saying, way back. So, say he's 33 years old now. Mason might be able to go in there and put stuff because he took the fight on short notice. Even though Albert is still a current active fighter, he said he wasn't like really prepared to fight Abdullah Mason. So that might give Abdullah Mason a little bit of an edge in this fight because, Albert didn't have like a complete, training camp. It's kind of one of the things where you got to stay ready to get ready. And, but in boxing, that's how it is sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Champions really don't, a lot of these champions, and I'm not saying Abdullah Mason is like this, a lot of these champions, they don't want to fight you unless they got that edge on you. So, say you might get that call out of nowhere and, you might be in between training. You might be, you might not be, at tip top condition. So that is the problem. That is one problem I see in boxing is that a lot of these guys try to, they get a little bit of a name, but the name ain't ready and they're not prepared. And they give them like a contract. Okay, say you could come fight now. If you don't want to fight now, then you miss your shot. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you at in your training. So hopefully Albert Prince Bell has been, staying, in conditioning, you know what I'm saying, staying in good condition and everything, you know what I'm saying? And this won't be like a short type of thing where, he didn't have a full training camp. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to take anything away from Abdullah Mason, because Abdullah Mason is a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a, what's going on? He's a damn hell of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I would just like to see this fight on an even keel. I think having a full training camp would be fair for a guy who was passed over by but fucked over by the WBO. He says, what up, Pool? Looking forward to this fight this evening. Now Mason undercut seem a little better than Boots. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? They all kind of like trying to work together to bring some good fights on the table. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here for it. You know what I mean? Because this Abdullah Mason, man, he looked like he gonna be the future of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Because it looked like he ain't trying to, he ain't trying to cherry pick no smoke. He looked like he's trying to fight any and everybody. And I don't understand why they don't understand that's the key to becoming a superstar, right? It's not cherry picking your opponents, not trying to, miss the high risk, low rewards type guys and trying to skip around and fight, just fighters who don't quite have the skill level that, the champions have. I get the sense that Abdullah Mason want to fight everybody that, that challenge him, that think they can like really beat him. And that's why I think he's going to surpass Shakur Stevenson. I think he's going to surpass Tank. I think he's going to surpass a lot of the fighters we think that are great, but are hesitant to get in the ring and actually prove that shit. I don't know why it's taking these fighters so long to, especially, I can understand if you you need to take a little time out for your family, take a little time out for your personal circumstance, but at least put it out there that, I'm saying, like, look, I'm saying, I'm chilling for a second and everybody's waiting for you to fight certain guys while time is going by. I'm saying, the rankings are going, I'm saying, the division is moving. It's like you're supposed to be a reigning champion, and yet, I'm saying, you pissed off at the fans because they want to see you fight the best guys, right? So, I'm saying, it's just weird how times have changed. I'm saying, how fighters are like turning on the fans just because they want to see the best fights, and that's fucking ridiculous. What's going on? He says Mason Bell was sparring. He said Mason Bell was sparring partners before they got history, which makes this a great matchup. Salute. He says Mason for not avoiding the challenge with a different opponent. Now, he was also friends with Shakur Stevenson. Now, it's just interesting. What is interesting to me is that everybody that's a threat to Shakur Stevenson, or anybody that needs to fight Shakur Stevenson, seem to be a goddamn friend of Shakur Stevenson. Now, I mean, Shakur Stevenson, I can't tell him how to move. I can't make him move the way I want, but I'm just telling you, as a boxing fan, what I'm saying, you can't befriend all the goddamn guys that want to fight you. What I'm saying? For people who love Shakur Stevenson, what I'm saying, if they can't see this little tidbit, then, what I'm saying, I mean, Shakur Stevenson got you in the butt, bro. He got you in the butt. Anybody that seems to be a talented boxer seems to be Shakur Stevenson friend. You know, I'm just kind of tired of that. Like, bro, what I'm saying? You can't use that manipulation, what I'm saying, to get out of fights with people. Oh, I'm not gonna fight Albert Bell because he's my friend. No, you're not fighting Albert Prince Bell because he might whip your ass. That's why you don't want to fight him. And see, I think people just don't like calling it for what it is. Just because you're a fan of Shakur Stevenson, you got to call shit for what it is. That's why I don't. I would love for my channel to be big, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to become big and have to, not tell the truth. I don't want the networks to be able to come in and say, what I'm saying, like, I got to hold my tongue on Shakur Stevenson because, what I'm saying, we want to protect him against this fight or that fighter. No, I want to be, if he's fucking up, I want to be able to say what I feel and what I believe. Not like a lot of these other channels, what I'm saying, where, what I'm saying, that they spend all motherfucking day trying to clean up this shit. What I'm saying? I'm not trying to clean up nothing for no fighter. What I'm saying? If I like a fighter, I tell you I like a fighter. Right? And I tell you why I like a fighter, and it's okay for you not to like the fighter that I like. But at the same time, we got to call the X's and O's, as my boy say. What I'm saying? We got to call them X's and O's. Otherwise, what are we doing? What are we doing? What I'm saying? Why are we sitting here trying to spew propaganda for certain fighters when we see how they moving? The whole boxing world can see how they moving. Yet you want to make excuses. You got Devin Haney in between Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson, and Jay Prince is acting like he didn't go to the WBO to order that goddamn mandatory, to keep him off of Shakur. Right? Now that Devin got to defend his belt, why can't he just fight both of them? I mean, that shit don't make no sense. Why can't he just, and people talking about the money? Well, I mean, we got money from Zuffa Boxing, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on. Everybody's doing business now with each other. So it's just y'all act like a fight can't go on after this. It's got to be one time or not. And it's like ducking don't mean shit. Ducking don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Not if you're gonna fight the fighter the next fight. It don't make no sense. Everybody act like it's one time you got to make a decision or it's nothing, and that don't make no sense because Devin can fight Kevin. He can fight Keyshawn Davis, and he can fight Shakur Stevenson. It don't make no sense why that can't happen. They've been waiting around for all these years. Devin tried to fight Shakur at 135. Shakur do not want to fight. He only want to fight when he wants to fight. I don't see why people can't understand. It don't mean he's a bad fighter. It just means that he don't like taking risk. You know what I'm saying? Unless he has an advantage, right? That's just the kind of fighter he is. I'm sorry, and I want to see my boy. I want to see my boy come in because I know he loves Shakur. I know my boy loves Shakur. You know what I'm saying? But not to get on Shakur, we got to get back to Abdullah Mason. I love that kid, man. I love that kid because he reminds me of like a little Tommy Hearn type of motherfucker. He just he tough, he mean, you know what I'm saying? He could turn it on and off. He got that. And the Mason brothers are just like the Jackson Five of boxing or some shit. Y'all, for y'all young people, y'all know about that. They like the Jackson Five. I mean, I know it's like more than motherfuckers, but I'm just saying that's the kind of gravitas they bring when you see them because you just look like one just gonna be better than the other. Not like the Russells, because I don't know. Finally Garrett Russell pulled Shakur Stevenson card, said he'll fight him, and now it's some other shit. You know what I'm saying? These guys got to get out of boxing, bro. If you don't want to get out there and you don't want to battle, hey, you know what I'm saying? You can move how you want to, but just get the fuck up out of boxing. That's all I ask. You know what I'm saying? Because you got too many of these little pussy punk ass, people out here trying to protect these guys and trying to make excuses for them. And I'm not with that shit. I'm not with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about no audience. I don't care about pulling no narratives to bring in views. I don't care about that. I care about the truth of what's happening in the sport. Yeah, too many people be worried about clicks and views because they're eating off their boxing channel. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, I'll be sitting there listening to motherfuckers, and they be talking about they putting out the nonsense, bro. Nonsense. But I said, what? You know what? Why am I getting upset? That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? If you worried about clicks and views and all that stuff, then you're gonna have to tell this bullshit. You can't worry about the truth. You got to let them do them, right? And we got to do what we do over here, which is we got to look at the real fights, what's happening, what's moving in the sport, and just call it for what it is. That's all it is. That's all boxing is. That's how you become the best. Now, you may not be the best on YouTube. That's cool. I don't want to be the best on YouTube. I care about who's telling what's what. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what fighters that really want to fight and not trying to cherry pick and trying to change the sport into an event situation where, they only want to fight the fights that they want to fight so they don't lose. I don't want to see no shit like that. I'd rather Zuffa Boxing take over, put it all in the tournament so we can see, and people are going to lose. When you fight, let me tell you something. When you fight the best, you're going to lose. If you keep winning, you're not going to fight the best. If you keep fighting the best, you're going to eventually lose. And see, a lot of you young people don't understand that. People are not going to stay undefeated if you're fighting the best fighters. And sometimes you got to fight that motherfucker 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Before you beat him, before you get that lick back. And, we live in a society where it's so damn superficial, y'all don't understand the sport of boxing. Sometimes, you miscalculate. Sometimes you have to correct your flaws and come back and defeat the person that defeated you. And that's what makes boxing so beautiful. But they don't have the space to do that because now you just get by a person one time. That's it. Oh, he's better than you. You know what I'm saying? But he's not going to give you an opportunity to come back and prove that was a fluke, that he could get you on another day. They're not doing that in boxing today. They're not doing that in boxing. So now, these channels, they could do what they want to do. They could put out this little soft cotton candy ass excuses, right? They could say what the hell they want to say. And then, you know what I'm saying, if you don't support the fighter that they're supporting, then they all ass hurt. They all ass hurt, and then they want to come at you personally because you don't like, because they fight a moving like a bitch. I'm sorry, y'all came out here on a rant. He says, I want to see Mason brother versus the David brother. You see, that's a fight fan right there. You see what I'm saying? That's a boxing fan right there because that is some crazy shit right there. You want to see the Mason brothers against the Davis brothers. I know you do, brother. I know you do. I know you do. But I can't. This is the problem, y'all. I keep getting the sense that Shakur Stevenson is bullshit, bro. I think he wants to retire. I think he wants a big deal so he can get the fuck out of the box. Him, Richardson Hitchens, who I can't stand. I really hate that dude. I wish lightning, you know what I'm saying? I've never really wish harm on nobody, you know what I'm saying? But if God could please send out a bolt of lightning, he already black as hell. You know what I'm saying? That's the darkest nigga I ever seen. I'm dark skinned my damn self, but god damn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Wilder black, goddamn, but that Richard his please let a damn lightning bolt hit that motherfucker and destroy all technical instruments so he can't tweet or nothing. I really hate that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Please get Richard Hitchison up out of here because he's not a real fighter. He's just looking for a payday. So and actually he's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? He's a dude he about walking around 170, and he just that's why he has so many problems because he's trying to fight at a weight class he can't really maintain. That motherfucker eat one spice ham sandwiches. That motherfucker 180 pounds. You know, so like, get your ass up out of these damn light division and go fight David Benavidez, motherfucker. I'm just tired of these fighters trying to shrink down to these small sizes when they should be fighting in higher weight classes. You know, but I mean, if you can make the weight, it's good. But don't start ducking people. Don't start missing weight. Don't start ducking people. You think that not going to get you that big bag. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going on. They think they're going to get a big bag, so they don't want nobody who can actually beat their ass to test them, right? Before they get to the Devin Haney, anybody who's going to make them get to them M's, right? And that's the problem because they know they're going to get exposed like a Richard Hitchison. He knows he's going to get exposed if he fights Oscar Duarte. You know what I'm saying? He knows he's going to get exposed. So he's trying not to fight anybody that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So he'll take a George Kambosos because he know he can beat George Kambosos' ass, right? Shakur Stevenson is doing the same thing. Great. As much great skill as he has, he don't want to fight nobody unless he's absolutely certain that he could beat them. Bro, get the fuck out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? You don't move like that in boxing. If you're going to say you the best, which you had everybody convinced, including myself, that you was that dude, and then Tank, he had me convinced that he was that dude, that he was, you know what I'm saying? I'm with everybody else. I thought that Tank could probably knock out anybody. But then when you see where their heart is, bro, it's like, no, I don't care what nobody say. And you can say I'm a Tank hater or whatever the fuck you want to say. I'm looking at how he moves, and I know you see how he moves, right? Tank, Shakur, Keyshawn. Now I'm looking at Keyshawn. You see what I'm saying? It goes in a row. And then if you see who hang out, even with the boxing channel, you can see who hangs out with who's full of shit and who's real. You know what I'm saying? I'm not calling out no names. I'm just telling you. You can see who's full of shit and who's real. Who's going to get on the bandwagon and talk that pretend bullshit, and who's going to talk the real stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if you see somebody ducking, Keyshawn duck De Los Santos, who just got knocked out by Rayo. That was my boy. Wasn't that my boy? I mean, if you've been with me, you know Rayo was my boy. Right? Even though he had got knocked out by he had got beat by Colbert, right? The little funny ass dude with the different hair, you know what I'm saying, when he was down there, when he was down in the weight division. And Rayo was my boy. And he finally done got his shit together, you know, when he beat Pitbull Cruz, and then he got up, he got his shit together and beat Pitbull Cruz easier than Tank. You know what I'm saying? And then now he just beat what's his name? Santos Del Santos, right? Knocked his ass out the way. And the funny thing was, Rayo knocked his ass out the way Del Santos knocked his ass out. So that was so cool to see Rayo get his get back. But then you got Shakur Stevenson running all over the motherfucking ring, you know what I'm saying, from Del Santos, Dos Santos. So I'm just like, man, what the hell is going on? I mean, you mean tell me Rayo got more heart than Shakur Stevenson? Now, I'm not saying Shakur Stevenson should stand there toe to toe. I mean, fight your fight, but at least dominate the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about like, you know, pap. I want you to do him like he did Tio. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, man. But he did say his hand was hurting. But Shakur is full of shit, man. He was talking about his hand was hurting. You know, I don't know, man. As in Shakur, it's like the jury is out on him, but I don't trust him because he seemed like a little weasel. The way he's handling the Devin Haney case, he do not want to fight Devin Haney, right? I don't understand that. He don't got no Crawford in him. At least Crawford would have fought Devin for the belt. You see what I'm saying? He would have fought Devin for his belt at 147. You ain't nothing like Crawford, boy. Boy, you ain't nothing like Crawford. You say you done trained with Crawford. You tried to take tricks from Crawford, but you ain't got Crawford hard. So get the fuck out of here, bro. Nobody want to hear shit from him or Jay Prince. He got a double barrel shotgun. What the fuck does that mean? I mean, I know he a gangster. You know what I'm saying? But what the hell does that mean? He got a double barrel shot. Oh, does it mean because he got Keyshawn on one side trying to take the belt and he got Shakur on the other side saying he's a duck? I don't understand this shit. This shit is getting on my nerves. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to go on the rant. You know what I'm saying? What's up, everybody? He says, what up, Pool? Looking forward to the fight this evening. He said, yeah, the undercard looking good. What's going on, Doc? He says, Mason and Bill were sparring part for the his. I think I read that. He said, avoiding the challenges with different opponents. Right. What up, bro? He said, this Bill brother was training for Andy Cruz. I read that. And that would have been a good fight. That would have been a good fight, but they offered him more money. You know, said to fight Abdullah Mason, which I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it because this gives him an opportunity at a belt. You know what I'm saying? He had an opportunity for it now because Andy Cruz ain't got shit. Andy Cruz ain't got nothing. He's just a Cuban. You know what I'm saying? And then he got his ass beat by Matella, right? So this was a better fight. This was a better fight for Albert Bell. A better opportunity. So I understand, you know what I'm saying? Andy Cruz just offer an awkward ass whipping. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't know who would have won out of that fight because I don't know. Andy Cruz ain't got no power, period. Which he's a great skilled boxer, but that bitch can't break a leaf. He can't break out a wet paper bag. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna have to go back and retool some things. Now I don't know how he would have done against Albert Bell. You know what I'm saying? Because Albert Bell is a skillful dude too. You know what I'm saying? He's just one of them guys that got sucked up, you know, and fell through the cracks because, you know, he wasn't properly represented, right? And then, you know, you had Emanuel Navarrate. They wanted to protect him against Albert Bell, right? For some reason, when you try to break into the Spanish cartel, the Hispanic cartel, they're gonna put niggas to the side. They're gonna put all the niggas to the side when you try to break it. When they trying to build them Spanish stars, they ain't fucking with no niggas because they already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. He says it's called Mayweather Andre Bud syndrome. Yeah, you can say that exactly that. What's going on, Bruce Boxer Gas and more in the building? You know what I'm saying? 1969. That's the year I was born. I know y'all said, damn, Pool, you old as a motherfucker. Yeah, that's the year I was born, bro. 1969, Bruce. That's why I talk like this. You know what I'm saying? He's like, this nigga talk like he's fucking 100 years old. Damn near. He said Masons and Ennis bring, man, what you talk about? What you talking about, Del Wall? What you talk about? What, boy, it's been a long time since I seen your ass. God damn. Woo, boy, the 300 coming back. When boxers start getting good, all the real ones start coming back. You know, I can tell when boxing get weak because nobody want to see this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? When boxing get real, everybody start coming out the woodwork. What's going on, Gerald? Look at Gerald. God damn. He says that Crawford is the greatest chair pickers of all time. You know my channel. Come on now. You know me. I will start going down the history of that shit so fast. But you're right. Boxing is I think when you get talent like Jerome Booth-Dennis, and see, they hate that shit. You know, one time it was Larry Merchant that said that the heavyweight division would never have another dominant black heavyweight champion. I'm like, bro, come on, Larry. Larry Merchant. Come on now. I know that's what you wish, but you know history. What history tells you, bro, is that there's always going to be a Jerome Booth-Dennis. There's always going to be a Bud Crawford. There's always going to be a Earl Spence Jr. There's always going to be a Roy Jones Jr. Because it's in our DNA. Not just, you know, popping shit for, you know, it's just what it is. So they keep trying to bury our shit by disqualifying our people, downplaying them, down talking them, and putting up they would rather go down to 112. They would take a champion from 112, like anyway, You know what I'm saying? And make him number one just so we won't be number one, right? It's like, man, I don't even watch that motherfucker. He get dropped by cab drivers. I mean, he get dropped by goddamn hotel clerks. He get knocked out. Come on, man. It's like they rather go all the way down to goddamn 118, 122. They pick a champion from down there to put him up on the pound for pound list and put him over our fighters. Now, you know, goddamn well, Ron Booth-Sinners, you know what I'm saying, is that dude. He could beat anybody, and probably if he was the same weight, which is what pound for pound is all about, right? If you're the same weight, could that fighter beat that other fighter that you think is pound for pound, right? And so, reason why I don't really fuck with it, because it's really it's your own, you know what I'm saying, it's how you feel about different fighters, right? It's just a fantasy list, right? That's why I really don't fuck with it. You know, I know Champ side like to really delve into the conversation, and I might start jumping in on the pound for pound list too. But for me, because there's so much politics in this shit that it really gets on my nerve. You know, I don't care who your pound for pound is, you know what I'm saying, but I think everybody knows, like, deep in their, you know, say deep inside who's really pound for pound, right? Everybody knows, you know what I'm saying? So to me, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people just be on some bullshit because they don't like certain fighters that they won't put them on the pound for pound list, right? Like, just like people didn't want Boots to win. Let me tell you something, let's just keep it real. People did not want Boots to win that fight against Xander Zayas. They thought Xander Zayas was going to go out there and outbox Jerron Boots-Ennis, right? And you could see it by the way they talk about it on all these different networks, on all the videos. All they talk about is round number 3. I'm like, bro, what the? Bro, I you know, I almost called a goddamn conniption, because I was like, all they talking about is round number 3. Like, Xander won the fight. And you know what I'm saying? Like, he got his ass kicked for what? For what? 6 of the 7 rounds, and all he talk about is the one round he almost he almost knocked out Jerron Boots-Ennis. That shit got on my nerve. You sitting there and they be like doing all kind of mental gymnastics to stay on that round. Well, it looked like Boots, you know, he was a little wobbly legged, and if Xander could have landed one more punch, I'm like, bro, he lost the fight. Did he win or did he lose? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, everywhere you go, and Breadman talked about this, and I think Tim Bradley finally jumped on this too. You know what I'm saying? About how the media has been pushing for the 3rd round. And then they're trying to make it a narrative where they're trying to make it like a fatal flaw. And I understand, you know what I'm saying? People from my channel, I know where their heart is. I know that they really looking at the flaws for what they are. And is that something? And even Andre Ward went in on Jerron Boots-Ennis' flaws, right? So I understand that. I know where it's coming from. But when I see the media who don't really cover boxing like that start talking about, you know what I'm saying, this is his flaw, this is what's going to set him back, and he won the fight and became unified champion, that shit got on my nerve, bro. That shit got on my nerve. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's weird. It's weird. What's up, Jay? In the building. That's who I was waiting on, Jay. He said, "What's good? What's good, Pool?" Says, "Getting nasty out here for us." Boy, I don't want to condemn him fully, Jay, but he gonna have to do something. That's all I'm saying. You know me, I'm fair. You know what I'm saying? I try not to vilify nobody, but he pissing me off. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I was a big Shakur Stevenson fan until I seen him pussy. He said, but I really don't want to I mean, I'm trying to hold back, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to hold back off of Cool, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I want to see him do something great. But he seems so pussy punk ass to me. He seems like he's a weasel. He seems like he's a schemer. I hate them kind of motherfuckers. I hate the motherfuckers in the channels that are schemers. I hate them who lie. I hate them who make excuses. You know what I'm saying? If you see what you see, call it out. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep trying to make propaganda for your favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? Don't come through on my channel like, you know what I'm saying, you cool. You know what I'm saying? You go to your channel and you making up shit. You know what I'm saying? You're making up hate against fighters that really trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that shit because I go to different channels and listen in, and when I hear that pussy ass shit, I be like, man, y'all go head on with that, man. All that fake ass stuff. I mean, I see what you're about. You're trying to make money because people hate this fighter. You're trying to make money because people support that fight. I understand. You're not just calling strikes. What how KQKC say that shit? Balls and strikes, right? Even though he be caping too. Damn, I said his name. He be caping sometimes too. But I know him from the I know KQKC, he knows how to call this shit. And I just think he be trying to get I think he be trying to get views and shit, you know what I'm saying? But I know KQKC know his boxing. You know what I'm saying? He's part of the LDBC. Well, he used to be. So of course that's a whole nother can of worms. You know what I'm saying? But I don't hold it against him. I just know he knows his boxing, and I know he's just jumping on the bandwagon and shit. Cause I've been subscribed to him for years. So I know he's full of shit right now. But I don't want to go with the narratives. I'd rather be unsuccessful and tell the truth than to be successful and have a million fucking followers. You know what I'm saying? That's just how full kind of boxing get down. So, if I have one or two people in the damn chat, I gives a damn. I'm not gonna be out here, telling this fake ass shit just because you want your fighter to be great. You know what I'm saying? On YouTube. That's not happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about the real boxing. That's all I want people to know. So I don't care about the clicks and views. And a lot of people accuse me of that. I'm like, have you watched my shit, my stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like people, yeah, I know you got to say this for quick clicks and views. It's like, bro, a lot of people hate YouTubers, or a lot of people use it just to, push the narrative that you're a grifter or something like that. But I don't really, what I'm saying, ask for money. I could clean up my shit and go get my money back. I could do that, but I just don't feel like that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like I got a few videos I need to clean up to get my monetization, my mon how you say it, my money back or whatever. I gotta go clean up a few videos, but I'm not doing all that shit. It's like because I'm working, it's like I gotta get shit together, and it's like this boxing is moving fast. He said I hate heavyweights on pay-per-view. Show. What's going on, Ramen Emily? Ramen Emily, God damn it, Ramen and Emily Jones. What's going on? I see you got the original back. This is if Bud come back and fight Boots or rematch all of these. No, it said Bud. Hold on. He said if Bud come back and fights Boots or rematch, all there is EJ stop him from his props. Give him his props. I'm sorry. Um, that would be interesting. Bud seemed like he really wants to come back and fight Boots. People been pushing for that fight. Um, I think Bud just hate the shine that Boots is getting. That everybody's comparing Bud to, they're comparing Boots to Bud, even though Boots haven't done half the shit to like really get a fight with Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Because you know but Bud is retired. You know what I'm saying? He's been up to 168. So I don't really think that's a fight that I think Boots beat his ass just because he's 38. You know what I'm saying? I know people think that Crawford is from Krypton and shit, and the motherfucker came to Earth and he was dropped in a cornfield, and so he was raised here on Earth. You know what I'm saying? No, that nigga 38, Boots would beat his ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he would break him down through attrition, even no matter how smart that nigga is. I know people think that Floyd could come back. You know what I'm saying? The nigga like 48 years old. People think Floyd could come back. He could probably whip some people, but he ain't for the whip nobody that's like really, active and really good. It's like he been out the game, man, and he old. So I mean, I'm pretty sure he could beat some people, but he ain't gonna beat the top guys. Just like Crawford, he ain't gonna beat the top guys. He got to cut all that weight, come down to 154, and then Boots is sitting there waiting on him. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Jay?
What up? What up? What you got going, man? Happy holidays,
Happy holidays, 4th of July, brother. You know,
man.
we're free. We're free.
Right?
You happy to be
Yeah,
free?
man.
I'm gonna go get my free meal. Shit, I'm a veteran. Shit, I'm gonna go to Korea, get me a free meal.
Oh,
Mm.
that's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, man, it's getting bad out here for us Shakur fans, man. It's getting real bad out here because I mean, look, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, Pool. I know you ain't, I know where you at with it, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because he haven't made a move yet. But I will say this as a fan. He got to make his next move his best move because he ain't looking good right now in the public. You know what I mean? And I got to sit back and, listen to everybody talk shit and I can't defend it. You know what I mean? Because he ain't giving me nothing to defend for real. I mean, he halfway, trying to defend himself on Twitter and shit, talking about, he want to fight with Devin and all that. But it ain't enough for me because how Devin coming at him, he ain't meeting Devin with the same energy. You know what I mean? So I gotta sit
And,
back and go
and
ahead.
here's the thing, Jay. I mean, it ain't no hate towards Shakur. Like you just said, you want to see him bring that same energy. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? That's it. It ain't nothing else to do with is he from New Jersey or that, you know what I'm saying, he's a friend of Keyshawn. No, let's see the energy that Crawford used to bring. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That saying, hey man, fuck you. Hey, I'll fight you. That's it.
right.
That's what people want to see. People know he's skilled. He's probably the best skilled boxer, you know what I'm saying, in the division. It's like, bro, but you can't be pussy punk ass, bro. One thing I can't accept from a fighter is being soft. You can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? If you're a cherry picker, I understand. But if somebody challenge you, be like, I don't think I'm prepared for that fight. I think I need more time to prepare for that fight.
Right.
I'm not scared, but I don't want to face uh, Devin Haney right now because I'm not sure if I can, be prepared. But
I think that's what he was saying though, Pool, when he was saying that he was trying to go back to 135 and compete at 140. I think that's what he was saying, that he wanted to grow into 147, but nobody wasn't trying to give him that. You know what I mean? The public was on him because Devin is calling him out. So it's like the fact that
Well, the
Devin is
problem
calling.
was the problem was he said he'll go up to 154 and whip ass up there. He said that he could whip ass at 147, but the problem is he only want to fight certain fights at those weights.
Right,
You see what I'm
right,
saying? So shut your mouth, go whip ass at 135, and then talk shit as you move up.
right.
That's what you do.
Nah. Look,
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
with you,
Don't.
man, because I wanted them, like, even with the whole 144 thing, I think it's a good fight. I think it's a fair fight at 144, but for me, I want to see him go to 147 and do it. You know what I mean? That's just how I'm coming with it. But so I can't really defend Shakur right now. I think he'll beat all them dudes. I think he'll beat Devin. I think he'll beat Tank. But right now in the public, he ain't looking good, man. And as a fan, I got to sit back and just listen to all the everybody saying he's scared and everybody saying all this shit they saying because he not giving me no leg to stand on. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Now, like I said, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt until he make his next move. Whatever that next move is, if it's some bullshit, then at that point, I'm gonna be like, okay, back off Shakur a little bit. Like, yeah, this dude ain't who I thought he was. But right now, since ain't no move being made, I can't really say that because he has been saying I'm not trying to do the whole, back and forth in the public thing. So I gotta give him that. You know what I mean? But we'll see. You know,
I, I
we'll
I see
see.
what I understand you, Darker. What you said. He said I disagree. Pool. I don't believe Boots could beat Bud. I mean, I'm not here to try to convince you that Boots could beat Bud, but the man's retired, you know, and he's got an ego. You know what I'm saying? So people are trying to put this fight together. Whether you believe that Crawford could beat Boots or not, or Boots could beat Crawford, it don't matter because excuse me, the man is not an active fighter. So, but I understand that the media are going to keep asking Crawford, everywhere he go, what he thinks of Boots. And of course, I did one of my videos. I haven't released it yet. What I'm saying, on Crawford talking shit on Boots. And let me tell you, man. What I'm saying, Crawford is a generational talent. He was different, bro. What I'm saying, but I mean, unless he's gonna let people know that he's gonna come back and fight Boots, that's when we should entertain that. Is all I'm saying. But I mean. I don't know who will win out of that. But I do think Boots got the youth. I think he got the stamina, you know what I'm saying, to beat Crawford. You know, I think Crawford's skill is better than Boots, but I don't think he has the vitality to execute it. Right?
Yeah,
He beat Canelo because Canelo wasn't as athletic as he was. He beat a lot of people got by on a lot of athleticism and long arms. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
Boots ain't got that problem. You see what I'm saying? And and Crawford is not a one punch knockout artist. He's an accumulative uh, puncher, right? I mean, he hits you with that punch that you don't see, then he finish you off, right? And Boots got a chin, so you don't know which way it's gonna go, bro. He might just Boots might just bite on his mouth guard, and he might just go toe to toe with Crawford, and Crawford gets clipped. You understand? Crawford ain't finna back down off no mano shit. And he's dealing with a younger, faster, well, I don't know faster. I don't know if that's true, if he's faster, but probably at 38, I'm pretty sure Boots, you know, Crawford got timing. You can see me working it out in my head. He's got the timing. He's got timing, but Boots got timing too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like I said, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But at 38, I give Boots the y'all I don't know why y'all think that Crawford is invincible. He's not. You know, so we've seen Crawford get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So especially with Jose Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? If Boots get see Boots one of them fighters that if he gets you hurt, he's gonna continue the assault. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it ain't like usually when people hurt Crawford they stop. They don't continue. You see what I'm saying? They give him a chance to recover. But Boots ain't gonna do that, bro. That's why Crawford fights certain people. That's why
yeah,
people say he gets cherry picked because he know those fighters don't have that athletic ability to stay on his ass. You know, see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
he catch
for
him.
me, I think I would favor Crawford in the fight, and I actually would favor Crawford to knock Boots out cold. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I do think Boots has a chance in the fight. I think it's like a 60-40 type of fight for Crawford, but I think those shots that Boots leave himself open for, I think Crawford will be trying to set him up the whole fight until he catch him with that one shot that's gonna hurt him or put him straight out. You know what I
I
mean?
don't think I don't think Boots will fight Crawford like that. I mean, I think
And
Boots would
see,
be. I think Boots would pick up his defense because he already. I think they. I mean, Boots fight according to his competition.
right, but see, remember, Pool, when we was talking at the post fight I mean, at the post fight after the fight was over with Xander, and I kept saying like, man, I wanted that Xander fight to be the fight that Boots shows me that he can do something other than sit in the pocket and bang with you. Because at this point, I'm convinced that that's who Boots is as a fighter. He's just a fighter that's gonna sit in like his whole mentality going into the ring is I'm about to be in a shootout with you, and the first one to go down is gonna be the fight's gonna be over. You either gonna knock me out or I'm gonna get knocked out. But
I think that's against certain fighters. I think fighters who at higher skill level and see the problem is they don't have many fighters with those kind of abilities, right?
right,
Because you know what I'm saying. I think like Roy Jones Jr. was saying, when things are too easy for you, you make mistakes.
right,
But when you actually respect your opponent, now you're reaching into your bag.
right,
And I really think that's what it is with Boots. Yes, does he have flaws? True, but
right.
he gets away with it because he don't fear his opponent. He went in there, he dominated Zayas with the jab. He saw he was faster than him, he was more athletic than him, so he went out there and he relaxed and he got Palumalo, right? But he didn't get knocked out. Against Crawford, he already knows what the deal is.
But see that you see y'all giving him the benefit of the doubt for
I
that,
have to
but
because I've
I'm
seen
not.
Boots. I've seen Boots with the defense. I've seen him defensive. I've seen what he can do when he's trying to knock somebody. I the keys to the fight was not to go out there and showboat and not to go out there and get frustrated. Just box. Boots can box when he want to. He just want to knock your ass out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, I ain't mad at that, but for me, man, I don't know. I need to see it first before I just put
You've
that on
seen
him.
it. You've seen it. You're
what
just not paying
fights?
attention, huh?
What fights? What fights can I look back on to where I could see Boots put together a clean,
Well,
disciplined boxing
well, here's the
masterclass
problem.
type situation?
Here's the problem. Everybody been in there don't should be in the ring with him, right? So
Right,
he either get
right,
in there, he knock him out in the first 2 rounds, or he get in there because he's trying to knock people out. So when you see a fighter with that much talent, that's offensive minded, of course he's gonna get fucked up. He's gonna get hit because when you pull your hands back, you open. You're not you,
right,
you don't have your hands up to defend yourself. And throws a lot of shots to get you up out of there. So when he fought, what was it? What's it, Villa? When he fought Villa, you know what I'm saying? He showed great defense in that what he could do. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
In that fight. If he's more defensive, it's going to be a boring fight. It's going to be
right,
a boring fight if he shows more defense. He knows that. He wants to be a box office. He don't want to be a Shakur Stevenson. He won't be must-see TV. And I think he's aware of that. But at the same time, there's a balance. But if he fought Crawford, I think you'd see a boring fight. Because he's not gonna go in there and let Crawford knock his ass out. You
yeah,
know, he know Crawford is dangerous. It's just as athletic as he is. So you're gonna go in there and open yourself up offensively to a motherfucker that's sharp as shit? No, no,
right,
you know the danger. But Zayas, who's green, slow, he gained too much weight. Yeah, you're gonna go in there and try to do some different shit. You're gonna go in there and try to, just try to show out. And see, that's his weakness. If anything is Jerron Booson, his weakness is that his pride and his showing off and getting
right,
lazy and showing up. That's his pride. He won't do that against the top guys that probably could beat him because he don't know if he's good as Crawford. So he's gonna have his defense in place, because he don't know if he could beat Crawford. He knows he could beat Xander. He knows he could beat. I don't know if he could beat Fundora or not. It'll be interesting. He would have to be defensive, or he will make the mistake that Eric Lubin made. You
right.
know what I'm saying? And go out there and get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he got to know that he's got to come in there with everything against Fundora because of the dimensions, because of the physical dimensions, right? So he's got to know that Fundora, even though he turned down the fight, Fundora's getting ready.
Yeah,
Fundora's getting ready for him. He's got to know that because after he gets past Fundora, I don't see nobody. Now we might be sleeping on Josh Kelly. We might be sleeping on because Josh Kelly got them Roy Jones Jr. hands. He got them fast ass hands, bro. I mean, he got some proving. He still got some more to go, you know. But
yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
I don't
like
see.
even against Crawford, I still feel like he got a chance because he's just that gifted, offensively as a fighter. You
Well, I'm
know,
looking at the age, bro. Motherfuckers
yeah,
that's in their 20s move different than motherfuckers in their 30s. And if you moving like you 20 in your 30s, something going on.
right,
Something going on. I was 38 before, and I was 28 and 29 before. So if you 38 and you moving like you 28, something wrong. I'm
yeah,
just saying. I'm just saying. I played 18-year-olds on the basketball court. I played 20 years old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old, and the younger you are, they move like light.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I
it's
just
you're like
think. Now, go ahead. My bad.
you get where I'm going. You get to just the
Yeah,
way I'm going.
yeah, yeah. I agree with you, but to me, I just think the Crawford's approach to that fight would be like the David Avenesian approach that he took, where he was just like, I'm about to set this motherfucker up and knock him out. You know what I mean? Like, I would literally feel like
Man,
Crawford would
David
go into that
Avenesian
fight.
is ass, bro.
Nah, I'm not
I mean,
comparing him. It would be way more difficult. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking
look,
about the approach going into the fight with a Jerron Ennis, because when you look at Jerron Ennis fight, you see the mental lapses that he has in the ring. And I think that Crawford would seek that. Like, he would think that that's his opportunity to win. So
but
I
he's
think
not
his
gonna. But
game
see,
plan
this is
would
what I'm
be to
trying to
do
tell
that.
you. That's what Roy was trying to tell you because he was one of them kind of fighters that had athletic ability at that. If the fight's too easy, you have a mental lapse because you're trying to figure out what you want to do to him because you got so much shit. That's what Roy was telling everybody. He's like, I'm so much better than everybody that You know what I'm saying? I'm overlooking how good this guy is, right? He's not going
Right.
to do that against Crawford. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
That's what Roy was trying to tell people. And Ward was sitting there with his goddamn crazy ass. Oh, well, there's no time for. There's no time to underestimate anybody. There's no time to. Like, bro, don't you hear what Roy? You wasn't the same kind of fighter that Roy was, bro. I mean, with all due respect to Ward, you wasn't that same dude, bro. Roy speaking from a place where he was so goddamn good. He didn't get touched for like goddamn 25 fights. He didn't even get touched in the ring. I'm
Right.
talking about like Dad barely got scraped on, nigga. I mean, it's like, and Boots is that type, got that kind of athletic ability. So what Roy was trying to tell Ward, and he just was like, we don't do that. We don't touch the canvas. And I'm like, bro, shut your light skin ass up, nigga. He's trying to
But
tell you He's trying to tell you that this boy got so much ability that it got too easy for him. So he underestimated this dude because he was quicker than him. And so he lapsed and got hit with a shot that really stunned him. And
right.
if you fight somebody like a Bud Crawford, he's not coming in there like that. That's what Roy was trying to tell Ward. Ward was like,
Yeah.
no, we don't do that. We're not coming here. The standard is here. The standard is here. I was like,
Right.
man, listen to this motherfucker. I mean, but for Ward is a disciplinarian. I will give
And
him that.
but
He ain't
right.
trying to hear that shit.
And you
Yeah.
see, Pull eventually, Roy, the peak Roy is probably the best fighter of all time. Just talent wise, just highlights. You look back on Roy highlights, man. Roy got some of the best highlights you ever gonna see from a fighter. And I feel like that could be Boots. Boots could be in that same groove right now, in that same at that same point in his career where you just at like a peak Roy type situation. But
Well,
when you got a disciplined boxer like Antonio Tarver
right.
and you can punch in between those spots,
But
eventually
but
that
but
can get you.
that wasn't why Tava won.
Yeah,
Tava didn't beat Roy because of that. He beat Roy because he stripped off 25 pounds of muscle coming from
yeah,
heavyweight. That's why he beat Roy. He didn't beat Roy that was sitting at 168.
right,
What was it, 175? Where they fought? I forgot where they fought. He beat Roy because he rushed down to fight him. Roy
right,
rushed down to fight him. He stripped off that 25 pounds of muscle. I think Roy was 190 something when he fought John
yeah,
Ruiz, right?
right,
So to get back so fast, he tried to strip off 25 pounds of muscle, and he was drained. He was fucked up because he ain't had no power. He looked, you know what I'm saying? He looked like Devin Haney, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And then when he was drained, he hit Tarver, he ain't had no strength after that. He couldn't follow up. That wasn't Roy Jones Jr. we were looking at
yeah.
because he did everything in camp to get the muscle off, but he ain't had nothing left. And so that's why he got Falumaloon. I mean, he won the first fight barely, barely. You could see
Right.
something was wrong with Roy because the energy wasn't there, the power wasn't there. That's because he ran down from 190 down to 168, and Catawba took care of him in the next fight.
Yeah.
So, and bro, I was fucked up by that fight. Let me tell y'all something. I was fucked up. I was like, I ain't even want to watch boxing no more. I was like, man, this shit here, but I had to listen. You know, I had to listen after the athletic ability was gone. Roy, he ain't having superpowers no more,
Hmm.
and he
And
drained
that's what
himself.
we saying. That's the same thing we trying to say about Boots. It could be
How
the
you gonna
same
say that about
situation.
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen.
Now I'm just saying that exactly what you saying about Roy. How special he was when he had the athletic ability, when he had the offense, and everything was clicking. He looked like he looked, which was damn near like Ultra Instinct Goku type situation. But when they left, it could be over. So maybe Boots is in that prime, and maybe can't nobody fuck with him right now. Maybe for the next 5, 6, 7 years, maybe nobody will be able to fuck with Boots, until he about 34, 35 years old, you
Right.
know. But I just think that there will be a point to where it's just like though that those flaws that he have on defense is going to be exposed. Now,
But
until
see,
he
but see,
showed
that's what
me
we disagree,
right,
Jay.
and that's
That's
what
why
I'm
we
saying. I was just
disagree.
getting ready to go
Think,
there.
I think he does that with fighters that he don't think can fuck with him.
Right.
I think like anybody, if you see a dude you think that can like really rumble with you, you ain't for to do what you do with the dude you think you could beat.
Yeah.
And I think that's just natural. I think that's just that's just a natural thing. You know what I'm saying? He don't think, you could be in the ring. And I think Xander stunned him. You know what I'm saying? I think Xander, but after he realized who he was, Boots went to work. You see what I'm saying? He went to work.
Right.
And then he was coming up to 154, another weight class. So, he underestimated how they hit in that 154. You would get knocked out by anybody.
Yeah.
Get hit with a punch that you don't see. You get knocked out by anybody, right? But when you acclimating, he only had one fight at 154, and that's why I kept saying in my analysis of him that can he take a punch from 154 pounds? And the answer now is yes, he can. But if that was Crawford that had him hurt, yes, he would have got fucked up. He would have been defeated. But see, he's gonna look at Crawford differently than he look at Xander. He's gonna look at Crawford. He's gonna put Crawford on another level. See what I'm saying? Now, the same thing could happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The same thing could happen, but it'll be harder because he
Right.
respects Crawford. That's what I'm trying to tell people. He
Yeah.
respects Crawford more than he respects Xander. So maybe that could get over the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Than the other way. He says,
Yeah.
Ronald Emily Jones, 300. He says, since when do people think if you get hit in boxing, then you then you a flawed fighter? Crazy. He says boxing, everybody gets hit, Bud included. Yeah, the Maginot fight.
Yeah.
I don't think Bud. I see that's a perfect fight too to like bring up because Bud didn't have to get hit by Maginot. He got hit by Maginot because he didn't think he was on his level. He wanted to knock him out. You see what I'm saying? Bud
Right.
was getting fucked up by he was getting mugged. He was getting hit straight in the mug by Maginot. And I know Bud is a better fighter than that. But Bud was pissed that this motherfucker was in here really trying to fight him on this level because he was hitting him in the face. He was popping Bud in the eye consistently. And Bud was pissed. He said, "You know what? Fuck all the defense. Fuck all the footwork. I'm finna knock this motherfucker out." And Bud was getting hit, and he just like Boots, he went mano mano. They stopped fighting Mexican style. Bud said, "I didn't care about the defense." He said it himself. He just wanted to get in there and knock out Maginot. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's
Right.
not
And
so. Go ahead.
now I was just gonna say now, I get what you're saying, but this is the difference between how where I'm at with it.
Hmm.
Like with Crawford, I've seen Crawford fight disciplined fights before. So I know he can do that. That's the difference.
I
So
just
when I
said
see
that
him,
though. I just said
what,
that. It's the
what?
opponent, bro. Go ahead.
Right, right. But this is my point though. This is my point. I've never seen you're giving Boots that just because you see what he can do, you see his ability, and you
Right,
believe that
right,
he'll clean it up against a
right,
better opponent. I'm not
right.
convinced of that.
Okay.
So I have to see it first. With Crawford, I saw it before. You know what I mean? So I can give him that
Wait
and
a minute.
see, like, now I can look
You
at
saw
Crawford.
Crawford go through a fight untouched?
I mean, not untouched, but I've seen him fight Victor Postol. I've seen
Man,
him
the Victor
fight.
Poster wasn't shit. Oh,
I'm not.
I'm sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
not the
I'm sorry.
point. That's I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying like he put together a clean fight when he
Right.
knew when his approach to the fight was
They were scared of each other. Did you see
right.
that fight? They were
Yeah, I
scared of each
did.
other. I'm
Okay,
like,
but
what the
Pool, you
fuck? Bro,
missing
you
you
lose
missing the
something.
point. You missing the
Go ahead.
point though,
I'm
Pool.
sorry.
The
I'm sorry.
point is you could tell from the moment Crawford stepped into that ring against Victor Postol, his game plan was to box that motherfucker.
Right, right. That's true.
That's what I'm trying to say about Boots. I
That is
want to
true.
see a fight that he got when he get in the ring with somebody. His mentality is, I have to fight a disciplined fight against this fighter, and I want to see him carry that through. When I
Right.
see him execute that, then in the next fight, he go out there and he start doing what you saying. I mean, what he's been doing and firefighting with motherfuckers. Then I can have that mentality where I can have that knowledge to say, okay, his approach to this fight was this dude can't fuck with me, so I'm about to get in here and get him up out of there. You know what I
Right.
mean? So now I
Right.
can actually say that because I've seen him have different approaches in fights. I can't give him that right now because he had like what 32, 33 fights, and I've
Right.
never seen him do it. So
But
and then and
his
then what's
competition. Go
also
ahead. I'm sorry.
giving
Go
me
ahead.
that what's also making me feel like this is because I know the nature of that city and how they fight in them gyms.
Oh yeah, the
So
ring wars, the gym wars. Yeah.
so
Like
it's
like it's
making
like
me feel
Mayweather
like
doghouse. It's like Mayweather doghouse shit. Yeah.
exactly. So it's making me feel like Boots grew up to that environment, and he's just that's just in his nature now to be a fighter like that.
That nigga like a predator, like the predator coach and shit. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right,
He's a warrior and shit. That nigga take off the mask and shit like them predators and shit. And he's that roar and he going in for the kill
right.
type shit. Okay.
Yeah. So I
I,
want to see it. Like I'm not saying that, it's not possible that he's not doing what you saying, but I want to see him do it first before I give him that. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. And when he do it, then I'ma hey, I gotta shut the fuck up. You know what I
but
mean? And be
it's
like,
kind of
okay,
like though it's a balance because it's kind of like what Ward said. Like if a motherfucker don't deserve to be like he did Thomas Delorme. If he don't deserve to be in there with you, get him up out of there. And Boots had the opponents. There hasn't been an opponent from 147 on to like really challenge Boots, except for maybe Via. I'm trying to think. Like really, most of them couldn't stay in the because of his athletic ability, hand speed, all of it. They
right,
wasn't able to give him a challenge, so he always fought that way. It wasn't until Karen came with the legs and the awkwardness. He kind of reminds me of what's that guy named What's that guy named at 135 that fought Shakur Stevenson and fought Frank Martin? Um,
Artem.
just yeah, Artem. Just a weird off cadence style.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Where you're gonna get you see where a boxer is gonna have some success against Boots because he's thinking one thing where is the boxer just trying to disrupt his rhythm.
right. Yeah,
So but I think when Boots mentality makes the adjustment, that he just want to box. And I don't know if he can make, like you said, I guess that's the whole point of this. Can he make the adjustments just to box?
right.
You know what I'm saying? I think he can.
Yeah,
I think he can, but do he want to win that way? No. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I think Crawford, that was the one thing we looked at Crawford is, when he boxes, you know what I'm saying, he tends to get touched up. But when he goes in for the kill, I think Crawford is a better brawler than he is a boxer.
yeah. I agree
I
with
think
that.
Crawford is a better brawler than he is a boxer. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just saw that on Full Kind of Box. He's a better brawler than he is a boxer
Yeah, I
because
agree
he
with
can
that
hit
too.
you. He can hit you with shots with angles, and he has hand speed. Him and Boots, they both got hand speeds, so they have the advantages in the exchanges. And then of course, Crawford is always calm. You know what I'm saying, under the storm. So it'll be a good fight, but Boots ain't gonna get no credit because Crawford 38.
Shit, I'll give him. Man, he'll be a Hall of Famer if he beat Crawford. I'm giving him all the
Man,
credit in the world if he beat Crawford.
man, black people gonna be like,
Yeah,
man, Crawford was 100 years old. At least the
yeah,
Buddites gonna say that shit. They're gonna say that
right.
nigga was 100 years old, and it's true because who wants to fight an older fighter?
Man,
You
Crawford's
know,
still dangerous to me. Like I look at Crawford
he's
like a
dangerous,
Floyd.
but shit,
Yeah,
is it likely you're gonna be the 29-year-old? You know what I'm saying?
hell
Come on,
shit.
bro. Man,
Man, you talking
hell
about
no.
Crawford, man. Crawford
Man,
different.
Crawford is not Superman, bro. I mean, the man is
Shit.
gifted, but we talking about another athletic, gifted motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Both of them ripping up toilet seats.
Yeah. But it's exactly what Crawford said when he broke down the fight. He said he like 10 steps ahead of Boots. Now I don't
Man,
know if I'm gonna give him 10
he
steps,
just
but
said that shit. He
right,
said
but
anybody can say, "Goddamn it," you know what I'm saying? I lift goddamn 500 pounds, but you got to get in the gym and see him do it.
yeah. I think that's where
I,
he gonna beat him at. I think he's gonna beat him with his brain. I think that's gonna be
I
the
mean,
difference in the fight.
Crawford is smart, but he got a 38-year-old brain. Boots got a 29-year-old brain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
And you
Boots'
know me,
brain
you know
is
I believe in experience. You know that. You
yeah,
know I believe
yeah,
in experience. But I just think he's just too old to execute that shit.
right.
You
And that
know, I
could
mean,
you might be right. Shit.
I thought he was. I never thought Canelo. I knew Crawford was going to beat Canelo. I was probably the only channels to tell you that he ain't fucking with Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Because Crawford's too smart for him. You know what I'm saying? I never thought Canelo was a smart. Well, he is a smart fighter, but he takes fight. He knows how to pick fights basically, and
Yeah.
he always stayed in his little bubble. You know what I'm saying? But so I knew. I was like, why is he fighting Crawford? He's going to get beat. You know what I'm saying? It was just that simple. You know, Crawford is a smarter, more cunning, crafty fighter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I just never thought that Canelo was going to beat Crawford. You know, um, and I ain't. You can go back and watch my videos. Y'all know that I never thought that he was going to beat. I never thought he was going to beat um, Crawford. I thought Crawford is a generational type of talent, but at the same time, I think Crawford knew how to pick and when to fight fighters. So it's
Yeah.
more than just his talent. So it's about timing and stuff. It's about watching your opponents, it's about intel and stuff. So it's a lot of that. Even with Floyd, I think it was a lot of intel involved that we didn't know when to fight these fighters, stuff like that. Even though I think Floyd is great, I think he know when to fight fighters. Just like when Sugar Ray Leonard picked Marvin Hagler after the John Mugabe fight, you gotta like really go back and get the backstories to a lot of these fights because they know when to fight fighters. After John the Beast, go back and watch that fight and see how much John Kubati beat the shit out of Hagler. That fight was a brutal fight on his body. I mean, and once fighters know, once you go through, like when Holyfield fought Riddick Bowe, they were no good after that.
Right.
It was a wrap. So the more punishment you take it to the ring, it takes fights out of you. That's why Sugar Ray accepted the fight with Marvin Hagler after um, the John Beast Mugabe fight because he knew he was fucked up. It took a lot out of him. That's why Leonard challenged him. Okay, so it's about timing too when you fight these fighters. You don't want to fight a Spence after the Algieri fight or Lamont Peterson fight. You fight him after he went through a car crash. You fight him after he drank. It's about timing. It's about intel. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these fighters are a little bit disingenuous, even though they got the skills. You know what I'm saying? But nobody these I respect the fighters that want to fight you at your full peak, and they refuse to fight you unless you're at your what's the name, Alexis Arguello and Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor was a fucking cocaine beast, you know, but Arguello went in there and fought that motherfucker, even with the black bottle. It's a lot of y'all probably don't know the history of this stuff, but when he got the black bottle, he came out there like he was fucking, like he yelled Shazam, and that motherfucker just went on to another level, and he was on Alexis Aguayo ass, and Alexis Aguayo, even when they asked, he said, "Man, did you do something?" And Aaron Pryor told him he didn't, but they asked for a black bottle specifically. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these fighters, what I'm saying, you know, it's hard for them to get it out the mud and dig deep and get the grit without something extra. And I don't know, what I'm saying, I know that's just brought up a lot of controversy about Aaron Pryor, but hey, I think Aaron Pryor was fit to lose that fight before he got what was in that black bottle. And that motherfucker came out there like a super saiyan. You know what I'm saying? After he drank whatever there was in that black bottle. Not my boy. You know what I'm saying? But shit. These fighters looking for anything not to lose. But Crawford ain't say he came back to fight him. He said he retired. He said that it's now the Jerome Booth era. So
Yeah.
shut the fuck up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Shut your bitch ass up. You know, talking about you 10 steps ahead. You know, that he coming forward, he be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? If you're not gonna come out of retirement and fight this man, shut your ass up. Shut your bitch ass up and go into retirement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless if you're not gonna do that, and I want to see you, okay, one time I'm gonna show y'all that this dude is ain't shit, you know, compared to me. And then you come back and you go ahead and fight him. You know, say I don't want to hear that shit in an interview. You know, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
They tease
Yeah.
us with these great fights. They tease us with these great fights. You know, and they know how we are. They know that we want to see the fights. You know, but if we ain't gonna get them, shut the hell up. You know, go ahead on and just say Boots is a great fighter. It's his era. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him do great things. And he even said it, you know, that shady shit. You know, I hope he surpassed me, knowing that nobody's going to get 4-time undisputed. Nobody's going to get an opportunity to get 4 times undisputed. I hope he surpassed me. I hope he have half the career I had. I'm like, look, this is so pussy ass nigga here. I hope he has half the career I had. You
Yeah.
know,
I do think that Crawford, you know what I mean, he need to stop talking about Boots. Quit bringing him up. Quit. I mean, yeah, give your opinion, but stop comparing yourself to him if you're not gonna come back and fight him. You know what I mean? So I agree with you on
I
that.
think Crawford want to fight him.
Yeah, yeah, and he
I think Crawford want to fight him, but he don't want Crawford one of them stubborn motherfuckers. He don't want nobody to entice him. He want to
right,
do it of his own accord. He don't want people to put a battery in his back. And see,
right,
I think that's what's holding up a fight like that. If Crawford come back, he gonna train privately. This is what's gonna happen with Crawford. He gonna train privately to see if he got it, if he got all his bases covered.
yeah, and he
He,
probably gonna and he probably waiting until it's the money right too. You know,
well, he
maybe
gonna
trying
get
to
the money.
hype it up a little bit.
He gonna get the money because he got a good relationship with the Turk, and the Turk know what he's getting. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? He want to make sure that he got everything covered, and he'll train privately, and then he'll challenge. You know what I'm saying?
right,
But what he don't want to do is let the boxing public push him into a fight. You know, that's what he don't want. You know what I'm saying? Crawford is a rebel on all fronts. He don't want to do what the people want him to do, right? You know what I'm saying? He want to do it because he wants to challenge, right? To show Boots that he's smarter than him. And I think Crawford is probably, you know what I'm saying, one of the most cunning motherfuckers I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? He prepares. It's boxing ain't just about fighting. It's about strategy and preparing. And he got one of the best teams in boxing to do that. You know, so
right,
while these other fighters, they don't. They just going by talent. They just going by what they got. You know what I'm saying? Crawford got the process. He got the team for it. And you know,
That's
he's got
why I
a
give him the edge, though. That's why, right? Exactly what you just said. That's why I give him the edge in the fight.
yeah. I mean, you know, I try to be fair. I try to look at everything, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I just don't like the little black motherfucker. I just don't like that nigga. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Even though I give it to him, you know, I give him what he, you know, nigga, he is who he is. You know what I'm saying? He proved it 4 time, undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, you know, he's just smarter than a lot of these fighters. A lot of these fighters just don't. You know, they don't prepare right. You know, they don't get this shit right. You know, you facing one of the best generational talents we ever seen. So, you know, you got to be able to say that shit. You
right,
know, I don't like the nigga. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just started doing interviews, you know, when he started fighting Spence, you know.
right,
But a fighter got a great athlete got to be a bit of an asshole to be even reach that level. You got to be. You can't be no soft ass dude. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a little bit crazy and insane to go in there and face these dudes. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know what I'm saying? I do get it. You know what I'm saying? Crawford special, bro. He really is, you know. And y'all know I hate that nigga. You know what I'm saying? But he is what he is. He's a generational talent. And I think
right,
Boots gonna be that way. I just think Boots don't have the rivals to pull it, you know, to so people can see it. And I think he showed a little bit of it when he got hurt in that third round, um, he showed his heart. A lot of fighters would have been running around the ring. If that was Shakur Stevenson, he would have been running around the ring like a jackrabbit. But he stood in the pocket, and that showed the boxing world that this dude is a dog.
Yeah.
This dude is a dog. Even when he hurt, he was one punch away from getting knocked down or knocked out.
Right. Well, cool,
And
man. I'm about to get up out of here and get with the fam, man. So I'll
all
get
right,
with you on the next one. You going
all
live
right,
for the fight tonight?
of course.
All right. Well,
We
I'll
got
tap in
JB
with
in
you.
the building. JB. All right, Jay.
All
What's going
all
What's
on,
going?
right.
JB? My bag. I got wrapped up in my,
Yeah, what's
you
going
know,
on, Paul? How's it going?
what's going
Happy
on?
4th of July to you.
Happy 4th of July to you, brother.
Yeah, I see y'all talking about the Crawford Boots fight. You know that fight, if it happened, it'll kind of remind me of, remember when Bernard Hopkins took on Jermaine Taylor? He kind of had the old guard against the new
Oh,
guard.
that was a good fight. Yeah.
Yeah, that would turn out to be a lot of people forgot about that, how good that fight was. Early on, I think Jermaine hurt Hopkins early on in that fight, but Hopkins used his experience and pedigree to kind of withstand the onslaught. And then in the second half of the fight, he started hurting Jermaine Taylor. Second half of that fight, he hurt him a couple of times and finished strong in that fight. Taylor ended up getting a decision in the fight that a lot of people thought Bernard won. I think this fight might end up like that. I think early on, with the sharpness of Boots and him being a younger, fresher fighter.
That's back when Jermaine Taylor had some stamina.
Yeah.
Because when he fought Pallet, remember that fight?
Yeah.
Fight?
Uh-huh.
He went out there whipping Pallet ass. He's like a front runner. You know what I'm saying? And he went out there whipping Pallet ass, and Pallet ended up starching his ass in the end because he ran out of energy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of hard to like unless they run it back quite a few times. It's kind of hard because you're like, damn, Taylor, if he don't get your ass up out of there early, he gonna pay on the second half. He gonna pay on the tail end like Zab Judah. If Zab Judah can't get your ass up out of there early unless he box. And I guess that's the whole thing of it. Can they change? Can they adjust? Can they box?
Yep. Boots got a real good jab. As you remember in the Crawford fight when he took on what's that former Kell Brook. When he fought Kell Brook jab was giving Crawford problems early on in that fight. But Crawford made the adjustment, caught him with that ankle punch 2.0 off the ropes and hurt him bad with a punch he didn't see and ended up stopping him. Crawford being one of the best finishers. That might be how this fight goes. The jab might be a problem, but Crawford is so smart.
The problem with Mir Khan is he definitely lacks focus. He gets caught up in his offense. He overextends, and just like when Danny Garcia caught the motherfucker, he was beating Danny Garcia ass. Everybody Mir Khan got in the ring with, he whipped their ass because that nigga got like lightning hand speed, but he ain't got the boxing IQ. You know what I'm saying, to keep it up. He loses focus and he gets Falumaloon. And everybody knows that about Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? Bud is a smart, crafty motherfucker, man. He is very what you saying?
That's what make him tough to beat. He's so smart. Even though you might be doing good early on, having success early on, like Kell Brook was doing it with the jab. That jab was giving Crawford a lot of problems early on. But Crawford is so smart, he made the adjustment. Now that's a younger Crawford. Can he still do that? I think Boots going to present some of the same problems with his jab and what he brings to the table, especially early on in that fight. That's why I brought up the Jermaine Taylor-Hopkins fight. Jermaine Taylor, athleticism and youth and just explosiveness gave Hopkins a lot of problems early on. But Hopkins, like Crawford being a guy with a high boxing IQ, a veteran in the game, was able to make the adjustments in the second half of the fight and take over the fight. Will it be a similar outcome with Boots versus Crawford? Boots doing good early on. Crawford makes the adjustment, and then he takes over the fight.
Let me tell you something. Boots ain't no front runner. Jermaine Taylor was a front runner. Agree?
He
was a front runner. Zab Judah was a front runner. They do good. You can't fuck with their athletic ability, speed. He was beating the shit out of Floyd. But see, Floyd knew that was temporary. You know what I'm saying? And just like a computer, he would analyze him. And then once he ran out of all that juice, he stopped breaking them down. You know what I'm saying? It took a while for us to figure that out about Jermaine Taylor, that he was a front runner. Boots ain't no front runner, Boots, but the danger is Crawford If he gets off on you, it's over. He's a finisher. Crawford is one of the best finishers that I've ever seen. If he hits you and he gets the advantage and hurts you, like if that would have been Bud in that third round, I think he would have finished Boots.
Yeah,
If he
Boots would
got that
definitely
out.
have to be sharp. He had to be sharp like he was in the Stoyanis fight. He was sharp. He wasn't, over aggressive and leaving openings in his defense. He did the same thing when he fought Castillo Clayton. He was able to
Right.
box and control Clayton with the jab. Now, those two guys are not on the same level of Crawford, but that would have to be the mindset of Boots if he want to beat Crawford. He had to be disciplined the whole fight and use his attributes. He's able to do that. He's gonna give Crawford a hard fight, a very
You
difficult
know,
fight.
you know what
That's not his
people forget.
mindset by the time.
What people forget is Crawford is a counterpuncher. See, I think people, because he can be aggressive and he baits people in. I think people forget that Crawford is a counterpuncher. He's one of the sharpest counterpunchers. See, fighters that like fighters that's defensive minded don't. I mean, Crawford don't do well against them because they're not overly aggressive. When you're overly aggressive with Crawford, like Gamboa, you'll have some success, but you got to be defensive minded. You can't just you got to get off where you get off, and then you got to get back on your defense. You know what I'm saying? That's why him and what's his name what's his name the Iceman. Remember the fighter they called the Iceman? Some fighters you like, why didn't he knock this dude out? Because they get defensive. You can't fight a guy that won't engage with you. And Crawford is a counterpuncher that got split second time and that can like really hurt you, right? But if you stay defensive, you know what I'm saying, Crawford ain't gonna be able to knock you out. You got to be overly aggressive, you know what I'm saying, for Crawford to catch you, right? Because he's gonna slip in that punch that you don't see, so eventually if you
Yeah,
overly aggressive. So, but fighters that are defensively, what I'm saying, minded, it's like they last. You'll be surprised at the fighters that last against Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Because he's looking for that shot to hurt you so he can finish you. You know, um, Boots, if he fought Crawford, he can't be aggressive, overly aggressive. He had to be more defensive minded, right? If he played it that way, it would be like a regular boxing match. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause Crawford is looking for the counter. You know, um, I think that's the way counter punches will eat you up if you're overly aggressive.
yeah,
And Crawford is one of the best at counter punching. He's looking for the punch that you don't see. He's got that rear pull counter that he
yep,
likes to. He's got that
exactly,
rear.
exactly.
He's got that rear pull counter that he likes to throw. And I haven't seen nobody. They fall for it every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you said,
They
he's a
fall,
great counter punch. He's a master at catching with punches you don't see. He's a master
right.
at throwing punches with his opponent. Will he be willing to do that with the firepower Boots possesses? Maybe he might not want to do that early on. Maybe he might want the fight to go a little while, and then when Boots kind of slow down, but Boots still got that aggressive mindset, then look to catch him in between shots. I don't know. But that's Crawford's really main weapon, greatest weapon. He got a lot of weapons. Is his ability to punch with his opponent and catch him with shots they don't see.
Yeah,
But just a lot of
yeah.
firepower from Boots. Boots coming with some firepower. I don't think Crawford has ever been in the ring with. If I'm being real, maybe when he fought the young Gamboa was like that. I don't think so. But I ain't seen nobody Crawford fought with that type of arsenal for him to
Well, it's
willing
the
to stand in there
dimensions.
and do that. I think
I
he's
think
a killer. I think he'll probably do
Crawford
it
got
though.
like a 74 arm reach. I think he got like a 74-inch. Boots got a 73-inch arm reach. So he's fighting somebody with like-minded reach. He's got somebody who's got reach just as much as he do. You see what I'm saying? So he's not fighting them dudes that don't have. See, Gamboa didn't have the arm reach. You know what I'm saying, to get in? Because once he gauged his reach, he couldn't. When Gamboa couldn't get into position anymore. Plus, he got caught. See, once Crawford catch you, he gonna finish. And that's the problem. People don't usually, they make the mistake, but they usually can't recover from that mistake to make an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? Because Crawford punch a combination. I think that surprised a lot of people when they
Yep.
fight Crawford, because he fights in combinations. Not only you getting hit by one punch, you getting hit by two and three, four punches, and they fast.
Yeah, it's a great matchup. That's why you really want to see it. You know, I don't think we're gonna see it. I think Crawford is retired, but if Boots get a couple of more wins and get real big, right now he's big, but he's not big. You know, a lot of people saying he might be the Jerome Boots era. I don't know, it could be, but you know, you got David Benavidez out there, you got some other guys out there that's coming on to the scene. Moses Otama, he's looking to take over, so we just have to see.
I'm glad you said that because, like Doctor said, he said, just address the elephant in the room. He said, do you think Boots will be able to endure Fundora punches like Boots did from Alexander? I don't think Fundora hit as hard as Xander. I think he's just an accumulation. He hits you more times than Xander would hit you. He's more of a volume accumulative type of fighter. You know, he's coming with combinations and stuff. So not, you know, just like he hit Keith Thurman with like an 8-punch combination. It wasn't how hard the punch was. It's that damn, he just keep battering your ass. He hit Lubin. When he hit Lubin, I mean, he hit Lubin with like 45s uppercuts and shit. So it's not like the power on it. It's just that he got clean, especially if he hit you clean. And they coming from his tall frame and they coming from a distance. So he's got a lot of leverage. You know, he's already bigger than you. So the punches are coming from down. They're coming from up top, hitting you, and so the impact is even greater, right? So Boots, you know what I'm saying? I think he, if he see Keith Thurman didn't have the wheels. If that was like a prime Keith Thurman could have probably did something like Mendoza, and you know what I'm saying, he could keep moving without, you know what I'm saying, losing any losing any of his momentum, right? But because he's an old fighter, you know, I mean, we don't know what approach Boots would take in that fight, but he did try to fight Fundora. He was in talks with Fundora, right? Which tells me that Boots is not afraid of Fundora. He wants that fight. He's looking to become undisputed at 154. Now, I don't know if he could beat Fundora, but Fundora went another way. Fundora went to fight his mandatories. What's that guy named? Erhal,
Martin Bodge or something like that.
Yeah.
He's ranked number 10 in the pound for pound rankings for whatever that's worth. I was looking at the junior middleweight pound for pound ranking. He's ranked number 10. So he is fighting a guy in the top 10 at 154. At least that's in the Ring Magazine rankings. That's his number one guy in the WBC. I don't know if that's mandatory has been called, but they're gonna take care of it. I think it's gonna be on the undercard of the Benavidez Million fight. Benavidez coming back in November. I think they're gonna throw that Fundora mandatory with that guy on the undercard of that fight. And I heard his promoter say that they're looking to make that fight and then maybe look at Boots in 2027. I don't think they're gonna look at Boots after that. I think they really angling for the Errol Spence Jr. fight. If Spence beats Tim Tszyu July 25th in Australia,
it's on and popping, baby.
Yeah, they're gonna make Fundora versus Spence
in that fight. How he look in that fight? If he dominates Tim Tszyu, it's on and popping, baby.
Yeah, they're gonna look to do that fight in Dallas. Because Fundora really ain't no draw like that. He a good fighter and he's an exciting guy to watch. He really don't have no draw. He from Coachella, California. He really ain't no draw on the West Coast like that. But I think if Spence win that fight, they can do that fight in Cowboy Stadium, you know, and they can do some good numbers over there because Spence is still a draw, especially in Dallas.
Let me get this one in. He said, Rami Emily Jones is part of the 300. He says, how do people acknowledge Boots' greatness since he stops almost everybody? Says they want him to go through 12-round wars, and he's not. He said he's just better than these guys. And that's true. That's true. And then you got to think, Rami Emily Jones, is that people are coming out of the Crawford era. So they got a little animosity, you know, saying for another great fighter to come and be compared to him. So, you know what I'm saying? Plus, he had 30-something fights. You know, and it's similar to Crawford career because he had like 30-something fights before anybody was really, you know, talking about him. So it's almost like they're both twins in a way, you know what I'm saying? Because his career's starting to pop off at the same time, right? So people don't like the fact that there's a new sheriff in town and they're comparing Boots' accolades to Bud Crawford accolades. And it's just the opportunities are different. You know, say for each fighter, right?
Yep.
He says Floyd did it. He says Floyd was almost 40 years old when he fought Canelo in his 20s, right? Yeah, but that's what I mean, Jeff. By experience, it does count. That's why I'm not counting Bud out when he's talking about coming back fighting Jerome Boots Ennis. I just think that if you look at Boots' pedigree, he comes from almost like a Mayweather type pedigree, you know, with the Bozies and his brothers. So a lot of it's almost like the perfect storm for Bud to get beat. You know, so he's not getting beat by an ordinary person. He beating somebody with a pedigree and a legacy to whip ass in the ring. You know,
Yeah.
Boots been fighting since he was 3. It takes that kind of fighter to beat Bud, somebody who's naturally got instincts in the ring. You know, so somebody who feels the fight more than just know how to fight. He feels the fight. So, and plus, Boots will give him the utmost respect. You know what I'm saying? So he's not going to go out there. He's going to come out there super sharp. And you'll have to see how the chips fall where they may. Now, I'm not saying that it's an automatic guarantee that Boots beat Bud, but because Bud could always see something and get him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? But that would be a fight I would definitely pay for to see. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Rama Emily Jones says if Bud didn't feel like Boots could beat him, he would never address him. He said Bud knows he'll never fight Boots. Of course. Of course. He said if Boots hurt Bud and get him out of there. He said Boots is supposed to do that. I said Boots hurt Bud and get him out. Yeah. He said if Bud just outboxes Bud, doesn't have to KO. He said we all would be reliving the same moment when Bud beat Spence. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it'll be that easy. I don't think it'll be easy like that easy. You know, so because that man is 29 years old. At some point in time, age comes into the question. You know what I'm saying? It's like 38 is older than 29, and 29-year-olds are moving different. They're moving like lightning. You know what I'm saying? So it's different, bro. You know, and that's why I say Boots wouldn't get a lot of credit for beating the older Bud. You know, even though it would be shocking to people, but it's not a prime Bud. Could he beat Bud at his prime? You know what I'm saying? That's what people would be asking. Could he beat Bud in his prime? You
Yeah, it'd be
know?
kind of like when Muhammad Ali fought Larry Holmes, man. You know, Larry Holmes beat out of his prime Muhammad Ali. You know, he wasn't the same after the third Frazier
Right.
fight. You know, that's what they'll probably be looking at. You know, what would you have done with a prime Ali? Ali, you know, back when he fought Foreman or when he fought even when he fought Frazier the first time, you know, hey Ali, you fought him, then what you would have done.
Right.
So it's a
Exactly.
little bit
And
different.
see, yeah, and see, and that would really that would be, you know, valid. That would be valid. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, yeah, you beat a 38-year-old Bud, you know. It's like, but if Bud was 5 years older, you know, what could you do to him? You know, it's like his reflexes would have been better, you know. So you know, it's a lose-lose for Boots. He says Floyd rushed to fight Manny after Marquez slept him. It's all timing. He said Bud wants Boots to go through 20 wars before he fight him. We already know. That's what I was saying before, Rami Emily Jones. He says Bud is a strategist. You know what I'm saying? He knows when to fight fighters. You know what I'm saying? So Bud Crawford doesn't recognize the Earl win. I don't know what that means. You don't recognize the Earl win. He said, I believe it's the media sparking this Boots talk. The media asked him, I don't see Bud going on a campaign tour just to speak on Boots. Right. What's going on? What's going on, Too Rich in the building? Boy, it's been a while. God
Man,
damn,
what's
Too
going
Rich, you
on,
good.
Paul? What's going on?
Let's go. Well, all my people coming back to the
Yeah.
300 coming back through. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. I'm like, damn, I'm just
Man,
absorbing.
I got it exact opposite, man. I think look, Boots is a good fighter. I think this is the Boots era. But I don't see him beat no Crawford, man. I can't understand how a guy that's less than Crawford could have you on skates and you think Crawford can't do it. Like it's gonna be an automatic win that he beats Crawford. I think it's different. That if he fought Crawford in his prime, Crawford was much more of a risk taker. He'll get into those exchanges and stuff in his prime. Older Crawford is fighting with experience. You see what I'm saying? And his Boots he one gear right now. He one gear. So you could see a Karen fight where he seemed like he having problems with Karen giving movement and Boots can't sit down on them punches versus a Xander who stood right there and allowed Boots to sit down on every punch. Well, Crawford is not going to do that. You see what I mean? The next thing, they both similar to the fact they're both better in southpaw, right? But what about when both of them get in southpaw? You're going to negate some of that. So what's going to be the advantage? It's going to be experience. Who can set up the other guy the best. And I would give Crawford that edge to being able to set up Boots. I think Boots is an offensive juggernaut, but he's not really thinking about the defense. I mean, he's saying himself, I fell asleep for a minute. You cannot fall asleep against no Crawford. You won't have that time to fall asleep or have a lapse or whatever the case may be. Now, I will say this: when you're beating up a guy and you don't think a guy can do nothing to you, yeah, that can lull you to sleep a little bit. You know, I give you that, but you won't have a chance to make a mistake against Crawford. You see what I mean? Another thing, Xander wasn't a killer. When everybody was talking about killers at 154, nobody included Xander as a killer, right? And I'm gonna give you an example. When Boots hurt Lima, he went for the kill. You see what I mean? When Xander hurt Boots, he didn't go for the kill because he didn't know how to go for the kill. It don't mean he would have got him out of there, but it's supposed to have been 100 punches coming. As soon as he hurt him, he just supposed to went 8. You know what I'm saying? And did whatever he could do to keep Boots off balance, but he didn't know how to do that. Whereas when Boots hurt Xander, Boots was going for the kill. So I just think Crawford is a different level of fighter, a different level of experience. Boots showed some stuff in there that I think if you're a fan, you know, you're going to look at what Boots did well. But if you had the job to coach your fighter against Boots, I think you'll see some things that an average person wouldn't see. And what Xander saw was every time he feinted Boots, Boots would drop his lead hand. He feinted him, Boots drop his lead hand. Then Xander came over with the left hook and caught Boots. And Boots was saying he was getting hit in the back of the head. But Xander was timing him. He was slowly setting Boots up with a couple shots. And then he finally landed that straight. Because Boots got a good jab, but he don't have a jab like Crawford. He's looking to land hook. He's looking to land that right hook when he's in southpaw because he's a power punch. He's looking to get you out of there. Okay, so the straight punch gonna beat that hook every time, and that's what Xander did. He threw the straight punch while Boots was trying to throw his hook. The straight punch got there first. You know, so I'm just saying it's those little things, not no big gap, just the little things that I think experience is what makes Crawford beat Boots. You see what I mean? Boots might be more talented. He's younger, but I think the experience is just not there. What happens to the next guy? Probably won't be Fandora, but let's just say you get another guy that simply say, I ain't gonna just stand here and let you hit me. I'm gonna make you move. Cause when you turn, when Boots go to make his turn, sometimes he drop his hands when he making his turn. I'm gonna make you turn. I'm gonna take advantage of the small things that you do wrong, and I think you'll see a much different fight. You see what I mean? But if you're going to stand there and let Boots beat on you, of course, you ain't going to be able to do that with him. So this the Boots era. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if it's another Crawford out there that could set Boots up like that. But if you really go back and look, it's some small things. Not no big gap, but it's some small things that I definitely think I see what Crawford thinks he sees when he says, I'm 10 steps ahead of him. Because if you was coaching a fighter, you can't coach your fighter and say, oh, man, Boots the best thing in the world. You can't beat him. No, you're going to look at Boots and see what you could take advantage of. Now, I think when you look at it like that, you will see some things that he just don't have the experience or been in enough big fights to fix. You see what I'm saying? Everybody say, well, he going to get it right when he fight the next guy. He going to get it right when he fight. No, those are bad habits that he's going to carry with him. And his best thing that he might have to do is just offensively beat a guy down. And every now and then, he might take a shot or two that might get him in trouble being so offensive. You see what I mean? But, you know, at the end of the day, the fight probably won't happen. I hope that it do. I hope Boots go get the 3rd belt and then Crawford come back.
You just brought up something because Crawford, like I said, he's calculating. And if Boots become undisputed, I could see Crawford coming out to become 5 undisputed.
Yeah,
I could see that become 5 times undisputed. I could see that shit.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this though: you think Boots fighting a guy on the level of a Crawford will be more alert? He won't fight like he fought against Xander. He fought more like he fought against Castillo Clayton or against Stellonis, a little bit more sharp and not as aggressive, not as more defensively responsible. I think when the competition goes up, that's what his dad been saying. That's why I want to see the fight. When the competition goes up, he'll go up. His dad say, you haven't seen the best Boots yet. Nobody brought out the best Boots. He's been beating guys with his C game. You know, Crawford is A level. So will a fight with Crawford, he'll be a little bit, we'll see a different Boots in that type of fight than we've seen in the past. Because his dad said we haven't even seen the best Boots. He ain't even got everything released out of his bag yet because the competition ain't required him to do so.
Well, I say it like this, bro. It's muscle memory. Everybody got a plan, but once you get into that stressful level, once you get into stress, that's why you practice so much. So when you go into stress mode, right, when the stress get on you, you're supposed to have muscle memory. So all the training that gives you muscle memory. So even when Boots got hurt, he didn't know. Let me get back. Let me get back. Collect my thoughts. He just stayed in there and kept swinging because that's all he knows. His muscle memory took over.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Hold on right there, Rich. Come on now. You saw the fight now. You said he was just swinging, or did you see pinpoint accuracy where he was throwing?
No, listen what I'm saying. But now listen what I'm saying, Paul. I'm saying he's using his muscle memory to keep throwing. You see, that's what I'm saying. His muscle, he got hurt, but he's stressed, but his muscle memory said, no, keep throwing this hook, come back with the other one. He was going through the motions of muscle memory. Well, also, those bad habits are part of muscle memory. You see what I mean? So it's hard at this point. You got to think, we heard 3 or 4 fights ago, but when he fight the next guy, he's going to tighten this up. Then when he fight the next guy, he's going to tighten this up. No, I just think that's a part of his arsenal that could get him in trouble. You see what I mean? I don't think nobody would be shocked if Boots fought his next fight and he went down. You're going to see him get caught with the same shots we see him always get caught with. Now, if he survive it, you probably can't do nothing with him. You see what I mean? But that's just a part of being real offensive, bro. When you offensive, a guy gonna land a shot in between that sometimes. He gonna figure out how to get in between it. You see what I mean? So when people say he's gonna he gonna get right when he fights, no, I don't believe that at all. I believe we look at the last 3 or 4 fights, we see the same slight mistakes. We seen Boots' head snap back more than we should. I mean, even against Stanionis, you know what I'm saying? Stanionis caught him with a couple good left hooks and stuff. Because Boots have a tendency to drop that lead hand. You see what I mean? But he's so offensive and he's so good offensively that you still probably can't do nothing with it. But I'm saying, if you fight an experienced guy like Crawford, that's what he gonna see. He's not gonna come in there in awe of what you can do. You see what I mean? He gonna look at what you do wrong and take advantage of it. You see what I mean? So that's all I'm saying.
I get that, but I think it's the brand of opponent too. I think Boots one of them, like Roy Jones Jr. was saying, because Roy Jones Jr. kind of broke it down for me. You know, when you're a fighter that got all these different kind of tools and stuff, and I get what you're saying, it's muscle memory and all this kind of stuff. I think that he saw what Xander was, and he incapacitated him by going to the body. So he showed him that he can't get away from boxing. Then Boots went out there and made a statement with the jab, like, look, if you make this a boxing match, you're gonna get destroyed. He sent a silent message. My jab faster than you, I can hit you when I'm ready. So we're gonna have to bang this out. And that's what happened. So in exchange, he got caught, thinking that Xander came up with some shit that he wasn't prepared for. You know what I'm saying? He was like thinking Xander, he hit him with that overhand. I think it was a overhand right, then a left, right. It caught him and buzzed him, right. Like you said, in the muscle memory, you know, say he was, he was throwing, but he was hitting Xander with that shit. He was hitting him, staying in the pocket, which made the fight exciting. I think if he fought Crawford, I don't think he would take the same approach. You know what I'm saying? Because he respects Crawford too much. People think that you think Boots would fight Xander the way he would fight Crawford. That's crazy. I do think that Crawford is smart enough to make adjustments. I think he do make better adjustments than Boots, but because we haven't seen Boots, he haven't been in a competitive fight on the level of a Crawford, so we could tell if he could make such adjustments. So I would have to give you that. Like, I don't know if he could make adjustments against Crawford. Crawford is very good, very cunning at in exchanges and stuff because he's a natural counterpuncher. I think Boots is both. You know what I'm saying? But I'm an experienced guy myself, so I'm an experienced guy too. I believe experience trump a lot of the stuff that fighters, when they have, special abilities. I think it's experience counts. But I saw Crawford fight Maginoff, and he wasn't able to get Maginoff out of there. I think Boots is a better fighter than Maginoff. You see what I'm saying? And so Crawford ain't everything you think he is. You see what I'm saying? So, but I do think Crawford would look at Boots and approach him differently. I don't think he would fight Boots like he fought Maginoff, and I don't think Boots will fight Crawford. You know what I'm saying? The way he fought Xander, because they got more. I think the fight would be more technical. You know what I'm saying? Because both fighters respect each other's abilities. Um, unless Crawford, Boots made some kind of mistake in the fight, which is more likely to happen, make a mistake. My bag. I think that link problem. Let me put another link in the thing so you can get in. Um, I think that Boots will look at Crawford. I think Boots will look at Crawford differently. And I think he will approach Crawford. I don't know if that would make a difference or not, but I do think it'll make a difference because I don't think he would get caught with the same shit that he got caught with Xander. Because I think he just thought Xander wasn't on his level.
Well, let me ask you this question, Paul. Like, okay, let's move. We know Crawford retired. So who else that you say right now that's out there that Boots would make, like you saying, he will fight the fight different? Is there anybody out there right now
Well,
that
it
you say,
could be
okay, this guy
Fedora. It's
makes
only one
Boots?
fighter. It's only one fighter. That's Fedora. Because we don't
That's
know
Yeah,
how that
Pandora.
fight gonna turn out.
Okay.
We don't know if
yeah.
Okay.
he can beat Fedora. We don't know. I think he'll beat everybody else. I don't see nobody else fucking with Boots but Fedora because his dimensions, because of the volume that Fedora throw. Um, I mean that's a fight that when I think about it, I was like, man, how is Boots gonna get on the inside and be effective? He would have to box Fedora. You know what I'm saying? And we know that Fedora can be outboxed. We know that, but it's like, damn. When I think about that fight, I'm just trying to think. Say everybody want to think that Boots just go to his body
Yeah.
and destroy Fedora, but that's not it. I mean, it's not going to be like a knockout to the body. It's going to be like more that a dominating boxing performance.
Hey,
I think
Paul,
that's yeah.
it's
What's up,
Mr.
Mr. Moet?
Moet. Hey, man,
What's
I'm good. I had to dial in. Man, I'm enjoying the show. Sometimes I hang back and just listen. I love listening. But I had to chime in when you mentioned this about uh that Bud versus Boots, and I'm gonna carry it over to that Boots Fondor point as well, just to keep up with the discussion.
hmm
Um, Boots has shown, which is interesting, but Boots has shown the inclination to not follow instructions from
Right,
Bozy in the corner. So I want to
right,
bring that up because that's a weakness. Okay. I
yeah,
love, we talked about this last week. Boots has the ability to make in ring adjustments. And that is a talent that a lot of boxers don't have. A lot of guys got to wait till they come back in the corner to get instruction to then go apply the change. Boots can do it in real time. However, he's shown that he don't listen to Bozy. Bozy gives
right,
him instructions often, and Boots still go off and do what he does. And so that's where the talent and the athleticism maintains that edge over opponents who just can't even compete at that level. But against a Bud Crawford, if we talking about corner for corner, listen, Bud has shown the ability to listen to Bomac, okay, and
right.
Bomac has shown the ability to provide tight instructions. So I think that's going to be a difference if they ever did face one another. I agree with that scenario you presented. If Boots becomes undisputed, I could see Bud being like, you know what?
Yeah,
Let me go ahead and see what I can do. But also, as you mentioned, Bud is a strategist, right? And so Bud, like, I'm not gonna face this young guy right now. Man, let him go through a fun door if he can get through that. Let him go through a Virgil Ortiz or whoever the other guy is who got the belt at 54. Let him take a little punishment, okay? And then I'll face him. You know what I'm saying? Because as you say, Bud always gonna look for that advantage. And then the last thing I want to say is against Fundor, I see the same thing. Whereas Bozy probably would give Boots the instructions to say, look, man, you gotta make this adjustment to get on the inside so your jab, you can make up the distance. I just don't see Boots listening, man. And so
going to the other gentleman on the line's point, which is that IQ. I think that Philly man, that Philly in him, just going. He is a true brawler who can box, but he just has one of a kind athletic ability and talent. That's all I wanted to share, brother.
That's gonna
We
be good
said
take, man. Good take.
we said the same thing about Crawford though. Once he get hit, Crawford changes. You hit Crawford good, he want that lick back. So it's certain fighters. They go into brawl state mode for a second. We saw it with Madronov. He got hit. I seen Bud get hit more in that Madronov fight. That I'm like, damn. So I know Bud boxed better than that. You know, but once they get into that feral state to where they don't give a damn no more. It's like mano mano. It's
Mhm.
like I'm gonna get your ass up out of here. And see, he wasn't able to get Madronov out of there just because he had some weird kind of like herky jerky. It's hard to fight those fighters. That's herky jerky like that. They got an off rhythm, and he was able to keep that shit up the whole fight, so he didn't get knocked out. Now, black fighters, what I'm saying, they don't have that herky jerky European style. Like Ottoman and people like that. What I'm saying, where they're constantly changing their rhythm and stuff like that. So, but maybe if it would have went a little bit long, he could have got Madronov. Looked like he was on the way to get Madronov ass up out of there. But it was just a little bit more complicated. What I'm saying? So, with Boots, what I'm saying, like I said, he's just beginning to get into the good competition. So we're trying to break him down. We're trying to see, what I'm saying, trying to see what he possibly can do. But until we have he fight great fighters like Bud Crawford, he really won't be tested. Or Fundora, or somebody like a weird puzzle like Fundora. We're really not gonna know what he can do. That's why
What
it's
about
gonna be
Virgil Ortiz? What you think about
man.
Virgil Ortiz?
He gonna beat Virgil Ortiz's ass.
Yeah, Virgil,
Yeah, I
Virgil
got him
Ortiz is
over
kind of
Virgil.
basic.
Yeah, I got him
Yeah,
over Virgil. I think
Virgil,
it'll be a good fight, but I think you break him down the same way though.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think he
Virgil's a
can
good fighter. He got a good
yeah.
jab, but I think Boost is superior to him in every category. Just better
It's
overall skill set.
gonna take a Bud Crawford to beat Jerron Boots Ennis. It's gonna take that level of fighter, that can outsmart him, beat him to the punch. Little things that we don't see. Sneaky body punches. Things that he can like really get into his head and make him second guess his offense. It's gonna take somebody crafty. And I can only think of Bud Crawford, uh, or Fundora, somebody with a advantage, a height advantage, a reach advantage, something like that. Somebody who punches a lot, somebody who's aggressive. But what surprised me was Fundora not taking the fight. That surprised me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
is
PBC.
surprising.
That's PBC though. That's PBC. They gonna try to keep everything in house. They try to set Spence up for Fundora. And Spence look good and beat Zoo July 25th in Australia, and Fundora take care of his mandatory. That's the fight they're looking to make in Dallas. So they'll take care of that. Then once he take care of his guys in house, then he might let Fundora venture out and fight other guys. But till then, he's gonna be fighting guys at the PBC.
Hey, this is what I had said about Fundora, man. I said I don't care who Fundora fight, Boots, Crawford, he a problem, bro. And what I said when Bud was trying to fight Fundora, I said they should have let him fight Fundora. I said even if he found a way to win the fight, Fundora was gonna hurt him. He was gonna take something out of Bud. You see what I mean? And I
Right.
see it with the same thing with Boots. Even if Boots could get by him, you're gonna take punishment in that fight. Anybody
Yeah.
gonna take punishment in that fight, man. Even if you could beat him, man. So Fundora, he a problem, man.
That's the thing I'm talking about is the strategy of it. Once you go through wars, I talked about the Riddick Bows and the Van der Holyfield. It's like once they go to war like that, they're not the same. When you see Marvin Hagler fought John the Beast McGarvey, if you go back and watch that, if you see what they were hitting each other with, the punches straight to the body, full flush, the CTE of it all, going to the head, saying the Hagler fight. Once you've been through wars like that, you got fighters sitting back watching you, like Sugar Ray Leonard. Say, oh man, so he ain't gonna be the same after this shit. So these fighters know. These fighters know, when you've been through a tough battle, it's time to fight you. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that fresh version of you. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson, you know what I'm saying? He don't want Devin right now. He, you know what I'm saying? I'm surprised he didn't fight Devin after the Ryan Garcia fight, even though he took a year off. He wanted that Devin Haney that fought what's his name? Ramirez.
Lomachenko. Oh,
Yeah. Or even Lomachenko. You know,
yeah.
they want that advantage. It's like they don't want that fresh motherfucker that's, you know what I'm saying, that's ready. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a tough fight. That's gonna take fights out of him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I hate this era where fighters are looking for that advantage. You know what I'm saying? You know, or bring you down to a weight class or catch weight and stuff like that. I want to see these guys fight in their youth. You know what I'm saying? Where they both, you know, there's no advantages. You know what I'm saying? It's mono. You know what I'm saying? Fresh out the box. You know what I'm saying? Just peeling you out the box. You know what I'm saying? You're both ready. Everybody had full training camps, which brings me to the Abdullah Mason fight that's going on tonight. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that Abdullah Mason is ready to fight a Albert Bell who is more experienced? He's 33. He's 33 years old. But the man done been around the block a couple of times. I don't know, you know, if he's been keeping himself up in the gym or not, but he got that call, you know, because he's supposed to have fought Andy Cruz, right? Which tells me that he probably been in the gym. Abdullah Mason, we know what kind of heart Abdullah Mason got. He's a hell of a fighter. He had that fight with Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was a tough ass motherfucker, man. That
Sam
boy was
Noakes.
like, Sam Noakes.
Sam
Why I
Cooke.
say Sam Cooke? I don't know why
Yeah.
I say Sam Cooke. You know, I'm from the
Legendary
area.
finger. Yeah, legendary Sam Cooke, man. One of a
If it's
kind,
been
man.
a
Yeah,
long, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But Sam was cooking, you know what I'm saying, in that fight. And Abdullah Mason showed that he had grit, you know what I'm saying? He's a dog, you know what I'm saying? But y'all seen this Albert Bell guy. This motherfucker is not, he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He presents a problem. You know what I'm saying? Can Abdullah Mason overcome this motherfucker, man? This dude here, he's been skipped over by the WBO. You know what I'm saying? I think he really wants to upset the apple cart, man. I mean, and Abdullah is a new champion. He's not an experienced older champion. You know what I'm saying? You can't like really say, you know, this dude is like a generational talent yet. You can't. He gets dropped in fights, which I don't really hold that against him. Everybody gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? But shit, you know, this is a compelling fight, y'all, tonight. This is a
Yeah,
compelling fight.
I'm excited for this fight. It's a good fight. Like you said, I didn't know Bill was 33 years old, but I didn't know he was that old. But this is his first big fight, and he's been, like you said, around the block a couple of times, and he's been avoided. They said Shakur ducked him twice. You know, I don't know about that. I know he could have fought him at one point in time. I didn't know he ducked him twice, but that's what they said. So this is a guy that finally getting his opportunity. So you know he gonna come with his best effort. You know, if he lose this fight, he probably not gonna get back on this stage. When looking at the fact that it took him so long to get to this stage. So this is do or die for Bill. He's a guy that's not known, but a guy that has a high skill set. When you look at boxers that's more known, they know about Albert Bill. They know that guy is the goods. That's the reason why people say Shakur Stevenson ducked him. This guy's skill level is very, very high. So you got to give Abdullah Mason a lot of credit for taking on a guy like Bell, especially when you put that with the fact that he fighting him on a 2 or 3 week notice. Even though both guys was in the gym, he was preparing for a certain style in Joe Cordina. Now he's got to prepare for another style in Albert Bell. So you got to give both guys credit. Bell got to do the same thing. He's preparing for Andy Cruz style. Now he's got to change it up and prepare for Abdullah Mason style. So neither guy has an advantage in that regard, but both guys are undefeated. It's going to be a good fight. I just think the difference in the fight is I don't think Bell has punching power. He throws a lot of punches. He's one of them guys that's a boxer, but he's an aggressive boxer in Bell. I think that's going to be to his demise. I think we're going to find out how good Mason counter skills is. Mason is a good fighter as far as aggressive, come forward, throwing the jab, looking to land big shots. You know, he's a very, very aggressive guy in that regard, but we're going to see if he's a good counter puncher guy. I think he's going to have to counter a guy that throws a lot of punches, a guy that is very, very busy in Albert Bell. If he's able to counter Bell and catch him in between shots and use the advantage that he have in this fight as far as the power advantage, I think that's what's going to be able to be the difference in this fight, because both guys are high level boxers. I think the difference is Mason has more power, but Mason's going to have to establish his counter punching in this fight. He's not able to do that. Then it might be one of those fights where Bill could win, but he might not get the decision on the scorecard, because we know this is a Mason. It's a Mason card. It's a Mason card in his hometown. So Bill got to lead, no doubt, because if it's close, he's not going to get no decision, because he's not the A side. He's not the younger guy. So it's going to be a good fight. Give both guys credit. I'm looking forward to this matchup.
Hey, that's my problem with the fight is I think it's gonna be a good fight, and it to me, Mason a lot like Boots. The really offensive guy they looking to put on a show, and if you're gonna get beat, it's probably gonna be by experience. You see what I'm saying? And Bell got the experience. The problem I got those 9 knockouts, man. Damn, you got the 9 knockouts. So I don't know if you can truly hurt Abdullah. So I got Abdullah edging out, like you said, and I don't think he gonna win a decision. You know, Mason is the star, a future star. It's gonna be hard to win a decision. So I got Mason by decision or a late round stoppage, man. But I do think it's gonna be something that Mason gonna have to figure out. We're gonna watch his tables turn. We're gonna watch Albert Bell fight the fight that Xander should have fought. You see what I mean? We're gonna watch. That's what we're gonna watch Bell do. He gonna stick to his gun. He's a boxer, and we're gonna see. We're gonna watch. I think Abdullah mature in this fight. You see, from coming from the Sam Notes fight, coming into this fight, he gonna have to figure some shit out. But I got Abdullah, man. Either late round stoppage or decision. UD.
I'm rooting. Yeah. I'm rooting for Abdullah Mason because I like that. I like his heart. I like his determination. I like his meanness. But he, I've seen him I've seen him get knocked down in fights, and I've seen how he usually come back. He kind of remind me of Bud Crawford in a way. When the fight is really on the line, he like dials into something else. He clicks it up to another level, and he becomes even more offensive. You know what I'm saying? He becomes more clever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? The boy left hook, the boy got, it's almost as if he get powered up once he get hurt. Just like Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Albert Bell, even though we're not like really familiar, I went back and watched his fights. And he's a long range fighter. You know what I'm saying? And he's an aggressive fighter too. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's very defensive. So to me, it's going to be a puzzle to see how Abdullah Mason deal with a technician like that. It's a reason why Shakur Stevenson did not take that fight. You know, they were friends. Of course, he's friends with everybody that's a threat to him. They were friends and stuff. So Shakur Stevenson, you know what I'm saying? If he ducked this guy, right, there's a reason for that shit, which makes this a dangerous fight. This makes this a dangerous fight because I don't think Abdullah is all the way dialed in yet, attuned to his skills yet, and I don't think he has I don't think he lacks confidence, but I do think he lacks the experience. I think Albert Bell, you know what I'm saying, has that experience, you know what I'm saying, because he was the darling of Top Rank at one point in time. But I think they was protecting Shakur Stevenson, and they really didn't know how to market him at the time. He was like the first Shakur Stevenson, right? In my opinion, he was like the first Shakur Stevenson until they got aboard the Shakur defensive fighter train, right? And they still, y'all saw how they did Shakur Stevenson. You know, they showed people walking out the damn stadium and shit on his last fight with Top Rank. So it's kind of like Top Rank, they want the action type fighters and stuff like that there. You know what I'm saying? So Abdullah Mason, you know what I'm saying, he's so much offensive. You know what I'm saying? And so he's an exciting fighter, but I think this is a threat to his title. I think this is a true threat. This is going to be a signature fight. Like you said, Rich, I think this is going to be a fight that shows his maturity. I think this is coming out party fight. I think this is the fight that's going to show everybody that Abdullah Mason ain't just, you know what I'm saying, a regular dude. This is his special, just like De Los Santos was Shakur Stevenson's signature fight. I think these guys are missing the mark on these fights. He should have rematched De Los Santos. You saw what Rayo did to De Los Santos, right? Shakur Stevenson could have stepped back and just dominated that guy. They're missing their time, you know what I'm saying? And I think Abdullah Mason, like you said, he's gonna show a separation from being a regular fighter into a superstar in this fight, because Bell is one of them threats that a lot of people don't know. He is a top fighter that fell through the cracks. You know what I'm saying? He's one of
Yep.
them top fighters that fell through the cracks. And I think everything that he's felt, you know what I'm saying, starving, you know what I'm saying, coming out of the shadows, you know what I'm saying, he wants to upset the apple cart. And I think this is going to be a classic. I think this is going to be a hell of a fight. Unless, now see, I don't even want to douse it. I don't even want to douse it. 'Cause on the other side, for him to get that call and to be a threat, it's like you kind of got to wonder. It's like, why would they call this guy? You know, why would they
Hey,
call a guy? Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what I was gonna add to them. A lot of people are like, okay, well, Abdullah dog, he didn't have to take this fight. I'm saying no, 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 no. This is a setup, bro. Look,
yeah.
everybody, except for the PBC, done been corralled to the zone. Now, we don't watch Top Rank sacrifices under the boots, a fight that he didn't have to take. We see Top Rank willing to throw Keyshawn in there with Devin. You see what I mean? And now we watching them throw Abdullah in there with Abel. I think it's the zone pressure him to make big fights and fights where the American stars can lose. You see what I mean? Not so much with Devin, because Devin liable to take a big fight. Boots gonna take a big fight. We don't have to really worry about them. But some of these guys that got the old, even Shakur, I think they coming for Shakur head too. I think Shakur gonna be forced into a big fight. And I think they coming for the Americans, man. They coming for the old, man. They putting them in a little bit more tougher fights. And I don't think it's a choice thing. I think they got no choice, because the zone, they need big fights, man. And they put the pressure on them.
Right.
Yeah, this is actually a better fight than the Joe Cordina fight. So you got to give
I'm
the
like,
zone Top Rank a lot of credit.
isn't it suspicious that I'm like, they didn't know about this charge and shit? It's like it's crazy that, you know, they denied his visa. The American Embassy denied his visa because of some active charge. It's like, you mean to tell me he just got this shit overnight? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
it kind of came overnight, like you said. It's like it came out of nowhere. I didn't know Joe Cordina was living like that. He got cases against him, charges and stuff. What was it, a gun charge or something like that?
It was like some kind of offensive weapon charge or something.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
I'm like, come on. They don't know this before they announce fights? It's like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't do your due diligence. You're like, can this man fight? Like Tank. If anybody was to fight Tank, he still got shit going on. It's like, you don't know if the cops gonna come and get him during training. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, I can't understand all this Tank negotiation. You know, they're talking like this guy got like 3 separate cases, but he need to get all that straight. I know one of them is like a civil case, but you know, he got 2 cases. He got a judge that issued a arrest warrant. He got to have a court date set up for July. He got to show up for. He got a lot of stuff going on. He need to clear all that up. At least the criminal cases, clear that up, and then you know he can look at getting back in the ring. But until then, man, you got a arrest warrant out, man. How can you get a fight?
GTA. Tank living like GTA. He just running over people and shit. That nigga don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? He just out here like just whatever the fuck, you know, like they do in DC. That nigga living like the wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
Yeah, that's a serious thing. Hit and run, that's a serious thing. I think the lady was pregnant that he hit and left the scene. Didn't even give no care to the lady. Got another car, burnt off. You can't be doing nothing like that.
Maybe on the goddamn highway. Goddamn, just sliding across the damn street. Goddamn it. Yeah, I said it. Goddamn it.
Even when you look at the Tank situation, after 4 years of not calling them mandatory, all of a sudden they call them mandatory with Kid Austin. You know what I'm saying? If you just look at these moves, man, I think they coming for the Americans, bro. They coming for them. And I don't think it's a bad thing, man. Make each other fight, man.
Kid Austin ain't that dude, man. Kid Austin lacks so much defense, bro. He's got a nice little defense that's kind of he's not an accurate puncher. But I don't think Kid Austin is the one that you duck.
but that's what I'm saying. But it's a fight that you didn't pick. That's sometimes dangerous. See, normally if you got control over the opponent, you know what you're picking. But that's a fight they didn't pick. That's all I'm saying. Like I still favor all the guys that's favored in the fight. I favor Tank to beat Kid Austin, but it is a fight that you just don't know. You know, I mean, just you don't know.
I seen a damn 38-year-old beat the fuck out of what's his name, Kid Austin. I mean, I was like, that nigga was so lost. I was like, cause you know, I was on the Kid Austin train, cause I seen his power, and then I seen him just get lost in the fight, bro. He got so lost in the fight, he didn't know what the fuck to do. That veteran, he wasn't even that good. He was beating Austin ass until he got his senses, right? And Austin got a lot of power. He could hurt Tank, but Tank is way too smart for Kid Austin. Way too smart.
Who,
That
who
that
is
dude,
Kid, who is Kid Austin trainer? Is that his dad is trainer?
old pumpkin head ass dude, one kind
Yeah.
of look kind of gay, kind of like look kind of gay and shit. Kind of look like
Oh,
kind
that
of
so
look
his
like
dad.
he
So it's
look
not
like
his
Lenny.
dad.
He look like a crackhead Lenny Kravitz type motherfucker. You know what I'm
Oh, okay.
saying? Yeah, he
Yeah,
always talking like, hey, my son, he just kind of talk like, like, damn. It's like, what's
he
going
might
on?
need to get a trainer in there. I don't know who his trainer is. I don't know if it's his dad. I guess you say it's his dad, but yeah, he probably needs because he got a lot of athleticism. He got a lot
Yeah,
of natural
with
talent, but I just think it need to be honed in right, man. I think he need to get with a Ronnie Shields or somebody like that. Maybe even go over there to where Spence was at, his former trainer.
I don't
Go
even know how
somebody
he
that
got
got
that
got a,
fight.
got a got a track record of producing champions.
I don't even know how he got that fight, bro. I'm like, damn. It's like I mean, all his fights he end up bailing out on because of insect bites. Cause the nigga got lactose poisoning. Talking about people poisoning him. And shit. I was like, man, I just got frustrated with him and got done with him because he seemed like he just trying to scam the system, trying to hustle boxing and trying to get a big payday. And when I see that like Richard Hitcherson, that dude, man, look, there's a lot of fighters just trying to hustle the game, and it's like they not taking the fights. They just want big fights so they can cash out, and I think he's one of them.
So
You know,
Richard
yeah, yeah,
Hitchens. Yeah,
yeah.
I saw you called out Devin Haney, but you over there in Zuffa right now. You finna fight some guy named Silence that we never heard of the day after Errol Spence Jr. fight. You and Berlanga, y'all fighting on the card in New York for Zuffa. So that's gonna be a good weekend of boxing. But what I'm saying is you kind of ain't really got no top level fighters over there. You calling out Tank and you calling out Devin Haney, but you're not gonna be able to get that fight if you over there at Zuffa and those guys are not with Zuffa. It's not gonna happen. So it's crazy, man. You guys do a lot of talking, man, but when you look at their actions, the action not matching their words. You went over there to
But you
Zuffa, man.
know,
What's over there for Zuffa for you? Maybe I think
but right now
Shakur
though,
gonna be over there. But you're not gonna fight him because y'all good friends.
but right now Zuffa is just a promoter. The Ali Act shit ain't passed yet, so they just a promoter. They can make a fight if that's what they want to do. They just a for now. They just a promoter.
So let me ask you guys. Okay, so I'm thinking like this. Devin need to go ahead and fight Keyshawn Davis to get out of this catch 22 he's in. Because I really don't care about them calling Dev a duck. But what I want to see him shut Keyshawn Davis up. I don't think Keyshawn Davis want to fight Devin. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't know that he was moved up as contender #1 at the WBO. He didn't know what's going on. So he's been calling out Devin Haney, and so I think Dev should just go ahead and protect his belt, then try to pursue a fight for because they keep the narrative. This is what got me suspicious. They keep trying to get him to fight Boots, and he's not even in that weight class. They keep saying, why don't you go fight Jerome Boots? And it's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? He just got the 147. So why are people worried about his belt? They're worried about, what I'm saying, who he's gonna fight. Why is he calling out Shakur Stevenson? You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, bro, it's like, why don't you guys, if you really want to fight him, it's like make the fucking fight. It's like why wait? Why worry about Keyshawn Davis, becoming mandatory overnight, which is so suspicious, which I think Jay Prince had a hand in. You know what I'm saying? But why can't he just fight both of them back, after one after another? He said he want to fight both of them. So why people are not allowing this to happen? So why are people trying to dismiss the Haneys as bullshit? Right? Go ahead.
Yeah, that could be your goal if you Devin Haney. Fight Keyshawn Davis after you beat him and then get the Shakur fight. But he got, for you to make it look like you got to put them on a contract, that's not gonna happen because you got two guys that's in different divisions, #1, and they got different paths. Shakur gonna try to get a fight lined up, before a Devin Haney fight. If Devin Haney's gonna fight him after he fight Keyshawn, so it's just a lot of variables. It's kind of hard to get those two guys lined up. Usually
What I'm
just say,
saying
hey,
is, Shakur is saying, drop that belt, come fight me at 144, right? But I'm saying, why are you mentioning the belt? They're going to drop the belt if he goes and fight him. Why is he saying that? It's like, what I'm saying? Because I'd rather Dev keep his belt so he have a say-so at the division. Because if he drop that belt, they're going to freeze the fuck out of him. because they already don't
Hell
want to
yeah.
fight him. Ryan
Yeah.
do not want to fight Devin. You know what I'm
No.
saying? It's
No.
like nobody wants to fuck with Devin. So if he drop that belt, he loses all collateral, all leverage that he has at that division. They could just ignore him, and nothing will be said because he's hated, right? So he needs that belt to have a stake in what to say at that division, right? So
Mhm.
to me, he need to go ahead and shut Keyshawn up. And I'm looking at Keyshawn energy. Tell me, we got 20 days to come to a decision. Like, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? You've been talking all this shit all this time. Nigga, it don't matter what the contract say at this point. You need to go ahead and sign and fight that man because you've been talking shit like you're going to just go out here and destroy this man. Right?
Hey,
So I want to
but
see. Go ahead.
like you said though, he ain't even know he was gonna be the mandatory. He talked a lot of shit now, you ever seen a video where the two dogs barking at each other, then they open the door and then all of a sudden ain't no smoke. I think that's what not happened to Keyshawn. You see what I mean? Okay, let's go on and fight. Cause he gonna fight Keyshawn, bro. He's not gonna drop that belt. Like you say, that's all his leverage. He can't drop the belt. So all this other talk, it just smoke and mirrors, man. He gonna have to fight Keyshawn, and Keyshawn gonna have to get the hell on, whatever they gonna do. Go on and make the Keyshawn fight. Then I don't think the Shakur fight ready yet, but since Shakur, he knows it's coming, let Devin fight Keyshawn. If Devin beat Keyshawn, Shakur get ready. It'll be the biggest fight in boxing, or him or Tank. It'll be the biggest fight in boxing, man. But Devin gonna fight Keyshawn. I don't care nothing about all this shit they talking about. He gonna fight Keyshawn, or Keyshawn got to move out the way or whatever, man.
Well,
Johnny
yeah, Keyshawn is a
Ringo.
mandatory, so it's got to happen. They got 20 days to negotiate. If not, after that, it's going to go to a purse bid, which I think it's going to do anyway. I don't think they're doing no negotiation. They're just going to take this fight to purse bid. Top Rank going to bid what they're going to bid on the fight, and then it's going to be 75-25 for Haney. He's going to have to take short money to fight Keyshawn. He's not going to make what he made versus Brian Norman Jr. or what he made versus Jose Ramirez. He's going to have to take short money, but sometimes you got to do that to take care of your mandatory, and then you get a bigger fight after that if you do beat Keyshawn.
Man, wait a minute. Johnny Ringo, what's going on? Man, he says, don't tell me Devin. No, I hope that ain't true. That he been walking around 100+ pounds. Man, I hope that's just a rumor, bro. Man, that's crazy talk.
Rumors are easy to spread, man. Easy to spread and harder to kill. So that's just, we don't know that that's the case. And people just get on the internet and say a whole lot of stuff that's not true.
Got 140. Well, what
now,
I
I wouldn't be mad to see Devin go out the boots, though. I wouldn't be mad to see that fight. I think he got the experience, man. I'm not saying he wins, but I think that would be Boots' most difficult fight, though. Because I think it would be the same thing. Boots will have to figure it out. He's going to have to figure some shit out against Devin. You see what I mean? Now, like I say, you would favor Boots, no doubt about it. But I do think that would be a difficult fight because I don't know if just what we all asking where the experience at for Boots. Somebody got to give him a challenge, give him something to think about. And I think Devin could do that. Now, I ain't saying he will win, but I think that would be a good fight, though.
But why is everybody trying to push Devin up to the next weight class?
Well, I agree. The same thing I say with Shakur. I mean, they trying to push Shakur up there to Devin. I think it's the same situation.
I don't think that people are. I think that the 144 proves that they just want to see the fight. You know what I'm saying? If Dev agreed to go down to 144, what's the problem? I mean, why people are still mentioning the 147 when Dev agreed to go down to 144? Once he said that kind of killed that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if Shakur don't want to fight, he don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? But just say that shit. Don't be saying Devin is a duck. You know what I'm saying?
I think he put his foot in his mouth when he said 144. Like, I don't even want to see Devin really go to 144, man. Stay at 147, man, and try to clear that shit out. You know what I mean? But, like you say, with Devin and with the way they hate Devin, and then on Devin's side, not having a promoter, trying to do it the independent way, it's a little confusion there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that deal, it caused him a little problem. He's not with any promoter. He's fought with everybody outside of what the PBC. He's fought with Top Rank. He's fought with Matchroom. He's fought with a lot. He's been with Turkey. So he's been moving around. So, like you say, he don't have no promoter. That kind of puts him in a bad spot. Like, because even though he gets 75-25, he's going to be fighting on his opponent's card. It's going to be Keyshawn going to be the house fighter because his promoter going to be putting on a fight, even though he's going to be getting a less percentage of the money. So it's going to be an interesting situation when they do fight. But I'm looking forward to that fight. Like you said, there's a lot of good fights for both guys. Boots got good fights at 154 with Fundura, Josh Kelly, Virgil Ortiz. Devin Haney has good fights at 147. Keyshawn Davis, Ryan Garcia rematch. You got both guys have good big fights in their own weight classes. So let both of them clear their division out, and then that could be a big super fight. We have undisputed welterweight champion Devin Haney taking on undisputed junior middleweight champion Jerome Bucenis. That'll make for a mega fight.
My problem is the energy. They don't have the energy to fight each other, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's all these, putting it off on, all these narratives, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, if you don't want to fight, you don't have to fight. People are not making you fight. It's just that don't act like you want to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shit, Devin is looking for a fight. He looking to fight anybody. He said he'll fight both of them. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that. Win or lose. These guys are so worried about losing. That's what's pissing me off. You could lose to Dev. It's not a problem. Dev could lose to Shakur. It's not a problem. They're the best guys in the division. It's like, I'm just tired of this new age shit where if you lose one time, that means that guy better than you. No, you can come back and win, bro. It's just that these guys are not going to give you that opportunity. In the Floyd era days, Floyd used to go back and fight people all the time. You got Canelo right now trying to get that fight, trying to get that win back against Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He want that fight he's hungry for that fight. You know what I'm saying? Because he comes from the era where you ran shit back. But I thought Crawford wasn't to fight convincingly. You know what I'm saying? But I still wouldn't mind seeing a rematch. You know what I'm saying? So we're living in the era where, these guys are not giving you the opportunity to get back. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it just kind of sucked, man. It's like, come on, I could see a trilogy with Shakur and Devin. They could retire off that shit.
Hell yeah.
They could retire off that shit. They so worried about losing, bro. You can make your legacy right there. I could see Dev is gonna go in here and beat the shit out of Keyshawn. He just started fighting 12-round fights, bro. Do your people understand that? This dude ain't ready with his bug-eyed ass. With all this shit he doing in the ocean. Nobody wants to fight me. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you skip. You wouldn't even fight De Los Santos. So who believes that people are scared of you? Nobody believes that shit, bro. You got to get out there and prove just like everybody else. You got to get out there and you got to put in that work. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people are giving Keyshawn this, why are they giving him this benefit of the doubt?
The eye test. They looking at the eye test. That guy got a lot of talent, Keyshawn. He just don't have experience, but he got a lot of talent.
If you beating B-level fighters, yeah, you gonna look like that. Tell me one fighter, if he would have beat Del Santos ain't even that much. Rayo just knocked them out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, fight somebody. We don't. That's why I say, and y'all know I always say this, that we don't have enough journeyman like, and I always say Josecito Lopez. If Josecito Lopez was still good at one point, said he would beat the fuck out of a lot of these guys. Josecito Lopez said the Riverside Rocky.
Yeah.
If he was here, he would beat the fuck out of a lot of these guys because he was that good. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the journeyman to really, take out a lot of these mediocre fighters, to see what they got. You know what I'm saying? He almost beat Thurman. You know what I'm saying? We need those kind of guys to flush out these dudes from going on social media, talking shit. It's like, come on, man. It's like, use your common sense, And go ahead.
No, what I want to say, man, to me personally, I don't blame the fighters all the time. I blame the promoters, man, because fighters don't make the fight. They don't pay for the fight. The promoters pay for the fight. So sometimes it's the promoters that also protecting their fighter and trying to guide them so right, and that's why it's hard for me. I understand the eye test. I'm not a big believer in the eye test. All I can get is talent. Okay, I recognize your talent from the eye test, but I know your promoter is putting you in fights where you're supposed to look good. You see what I mean? So the promoters are not putting their fighters in risky fights. You see what I'm saying? Where we get to really see the guy is good because he beat another guy. It's like All these guys, they get their O's, and it's like they form their own ecosystem. You go fight these guys over here, you go fight. They never fight each other. You know what I mean? So some of that is on the promoters. Back in the days, we didn't have as many promoters. You see what I mean? So hey, everybody was on Top Rank, or a lot of people with Don King. So a lot of fights got made. Well, now we got all these promoters, and all these promoters are protecting their own fighters. You see what I mean? They got to be that's where Turkey at least allowed them to work together. And with all them going to the zone, now we seeing a little bit more motion and shit like that, man. But these promoters got to be willing to make these guys fight. You know, you heard Tank say where he was being set up when Floyd was trying to set him up with fights. So we know fighters have to fight the fights that the promoters tell them to fight. So sometimes we gotta look at these promoters, man. They doing too much to guide these fighters. So one of the criticism I had with Boots, I know everybody see Boots, he good, he this and that, but to me, I see a fighter that's been led right, that's been able to, whether you say who fault it is, he's not had those signature fights. And much of we were talking about going to 154 with all the killers, he's managed to get up in there, be a unified champion, and not face one killer. I don't think that's an accident. You see what I mean? I understand how these promoters move their fighters. You see what I mean? Now, at least Boots, we know he's willing to fight the fights. But a lot of these guys understand they're being moved right. And that's what's got to change, man. They got to be put in a position where guys with O's need to be fighting each other. The boxing won't get as good as it can get until they start taking losses. You know, Floyd was fighting Shane Mosley and Zab Judah. They had losses. That didn't mean it wasn't a good fight because they had losses. But these fighters done bought into that mentality. They don't want to lose. I think Shakur would have a big problem. I'm a fan of Shakur. I think he's one of the best fighters in the game. But I do think if he took a loss, he would have a big mental problem. I think if Keyshawn loses to Devin Haney, he's going to have a big mental problem.
I said
You see what I mean?
And
they got to break up this monotony, man. Make these dudes fight, man. Earn that money like they supposed to.
Yeah, when you look at Keyshawn Davis' record, you look at say, oh, he only 15 wins, 15-0. But you look at the guys he fought. For somebody that only had 15 fights, he fought some quality guys. He beat Jermaine Ortiz, stopped him in the 12th round. That guy went life and death with Lomachenko. I thought he beat Teofimo Lopez. He stopped him. He fought Albright. Albright is a good fighter. I thought he beat Frank Martin. He beat him twice. He's beaten he fought Maduron. He's fought Lemos. Lemos gave Richard Hitchens a problem. A lot of people thought Lemos beat Hitchens. He beat the guy Berinacek that beat Navarrate, who was in the top 10 pound for pound rankings. So you can't just look at, oh, he only had 15 fights. Oh, he ain't fought nobody. Look at who he fought. Look into the resume. We can break it down resumes of all fighters and say, oh, he ain't fought nobody, he ain't fought this. They say that about Tank, they say that about Boots, but when you dig into that resume, they fought some quality fighters, man. You can always downplay a guy's resume, but you just got to look at the eye test, not only the eye test, but look at the quality of opponents they had. Don't just look at the amount of fights he had. Oh, he only had 15 fights. Look at who he's fought. I think Keyshawn Davis is a good fight. I think if he fight Devin Haney is the favorite, but this is not some mismatch. This is not some guy, oh, Devin Haney going to smash Keyshawn Davis. He going to watch Keyshawn Davis. I don't think it's going to be like that. Keyshawn Davis brings a lot to the table. Good jab, good combination. He's very explosive. He's got a good right hand. And he's a guy that's going to give Devin Haney a lot of problems. Devin Haney is a good fighter. He's very, very alert. He knows how to stifle his opponent's offense. He's got a good 1-2. He's got a good grab game. He's able to grab his opponent, smother, and slow down the pace of the fight. He's very, very high level in that. So it's hard to beat that style. Very good time, and he's very, very alert, high boxing IQ. But that's a good fight. That ain't no mismatch. That ain't no wash. So I don't know why people getting that confused. People going to be surprised when they watch that fight, how good it is and how competitive it is.
But with me, Keyshawn, man, Keyshawn fire, but since he left Bo Mac, though, it's a little slippage, man. He ain't combination punching as much as he would. He fell in love with thinking he gonna stop a guy. He just gonna throw one punch and stop a guy. I would like to see him go back to that combination punch. I think you're gonna need that for Devin Haney, bro. You're gonna need that, man. And like I said, I know a lot of people, they not there. Oh, he gonna jab and grab and all that stuff. But I also heard Boo say, I was trying to grab Zunder. He kept pushing me off. So he didn't understand understand how to grab him and tie that motherfucker up. Well, Devin gonna tie your ass up. We know that. You know, he's gonna nullify some of your offense just by understanding how to grab you. And Shakur is better than that people think. Shakur is a much more dirtier fighter than people give him credit for. He know how to hook that arm. He know how to step on your feet. He know how to hit you with elbows. You see what I'm saying? You know, I listen to his granddaddy talk. They teach a lot of dirty boxing too. You know what I mean? So, but Keyshawn is a truer talent, and more than anything, he got the heart. He got the heart. So no, I don't think it's an easy fight at all. But I definitely think it's a good fight. But I think he might be in over his head a little bit against Devin, you know. But hey, that's the game. If he can come back, he'll be all right, man. These guys, like you said, they got to stop being scared of losing, man. Because you got rematches, you got all things that can happen where you can make a lot of money and still put your imprint on the sport, man. You ain't got to be straight up with an O, man. We got to kill that. That's why I think the next generation gonna be much better, man, because it ain't no pay-per-view stars out there, so we ain't gotta hide nobody behind a pay-per-view wall. These new guys gonna be willing to fight, and if you want to understand what I'm talking about, look how De La Hoya them talk about Zuffa. De La Hoya, like they over there, Zuffa getting those fighters beat, and they're not building the fighter. Yeah, so you know they're willing to match those guys over there, and that means y'all are not matching the guys like you could, because De La Hoya, all your fighters end up 40-0, ain't fought nobody, and then they finally fight somebody, get their ass whooped. You see what I'm saying? So all that building the fighter too far, you know, that era got to end, man.
I mean, they be looking like trash. Be looking like 40-something fights. Like what's his name? Hamangia. Got more fights than damn Mayweather himself. You know, Canelo had about 40 fights when he fought Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, they're getting moved in a certain way, but with Keyshawn, he only got 15 fights. So this is what confusing me. And
but he fought quality people though. He's fought quality people in those 15 fights. It's not some people got 15 fights and have been prospect level fights. That's not the case with Keyshawn. I just pointed out and look at the resume, peel the resume up. He beat Jermaine Ortiz.
You just say that's the most quality fighter he fought. That's the most quality fighter. Even when he fought what's his name, Perez. Perez. These guys are not on the level. They're not elite, bro. They're not elite. At least he came to them at the tail end of their career. You see what I'm saying? So he wouldn't be coming in like, for instance, he's not coming in when they were fresh. He wasn't coming in when they were on top of their shit. You see what I'm saying? He fighting B-level fighters, not elite level fighters, what I'm trying to get people to say. And then he's never really been on a big stage, but he's talking shit like he's been knocking shit out since 87. And it's like, bro, I'm like, bro, come on now. You got to get some more fights in, bro, before you start. You don't even know how your career is moving. You know what I'm saying? It's
like I say, he beat Albright. Albright is a tough out for anybody. Ain't nobody gonna knock out Albright. Who you think? Did you think he beat Frank Martin? Did you think he beat Frank Martin? I thought he beat Frank Martin. Did you think he beat Frank Martin?
Is a part-time nurse. You know what I'm saying?
That's what That's what that's just let you know how good he is. He's able to do that with another job. Did you think he beat Frank Martin?
Baby, I know you ain't thinking Albright was all that, bro.
I thought he beat Frank Martin. How you rate Frank Martin? I thought he won that Frank Martin fight. Great. Frank Martin tackled the man. Keep him getting knocked out. He tackled the man and keep him getting knocked out. I thought he beat Frank Martin. Albright.
So you mean tell me you think Keyshawn got that kind of talent?
What I'm saying is he said 15 wins. People, you looking at the 15 wins like that's not enough fights. I'm looking at the fighters that he fought in those 15 fights.
I'm saying the nigga just started fighting 12 rounds, bro. He already talking about going in there and fight. Well, I'm not against him fighting Devin Haney. I'm not against it at all. But what I'm saying is he acting like, goddamn, everybody acting like Keyshawn is the next Roy Jones Jr. I was like, I don't see that.
But he's selling himself. You know, he braggadocious. Ain't nothing wrong with that, being confident in yourself. He think he can beat Devin Haney. He don't think Devin Haney is a special fighter. A lot of fighters have said that about Devin Haney. They don't think he's special. They think he's good, but he ain't what people say he is.
Devin resume better than Keyshawn Davis' resume.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm just saying, like, he went into interviews talking about, I don't think he's that good. He haven't fought nobody. I'm like, are you serious, bro? It's like, did you fight Lomachenko? I mean, did you fight Jorge Linares? I mean, tell me somebody on your resume that equals that. You know, so I'm just like tripping at the audacity. And like you said, like maybe I'm like a little pissed because he hasn't like really proven himself like that. And I really want to see Devin take that fight. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Devin take that fight. And if he gets beat, Devin ain't gonna get no credit for that shit because it's like I'm thinking that most boxing aficionados gonna be like, well, Keyshawn wasn't quite ready yet. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 fights, he probably could have beat Devin, but he's just
If
a little
Devin
too
Haney win that
early.
fight, he gonna get full credit. He beating a guy that I
I
think is
don't
one
think
of the
so.
best fighters there. Even though he ain't fought at
You
147, I
said
think
one of the
Keyshawn
best
right
fights
now is one
ever.
of the top fighters at 147. You got Devin, Ryan, probably next tier is Keyshawn Davis at 147.
But you
So if he
said
beat
one of the
Keyshawn,
best.
I give
You
him
said one
credit.
of the best. You said one of the best fighters ever. He ain't gonna get no credit for that, boy. That for one, they hate Devin just that much. You know what I'm saying? No matter who he beat, you know what I'm saying? I think, and usually I'm not a victim type dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I hate it when Crawford did it. I hate it when what I'm saying, these fights come out and act like saying they victims and shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But I don't think Keyshawn got enough experience yet, man. I just don't see it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think he got talent, and like Rich was saying, I see the talent, but I don't think he got the experience yet. You know what I'm saying? I think once he get in there and his shit get nullified, he gonna be fucked up from there. Once he
yeah,
see that.
yeah. Yeah, but
Hmm.
when I look at Keyshawn fight, I don't look at nobody like that's a green fight. Like, hey, he green, he need to do this. I see a guy who know what he doing. He's got a strong amateur background, went to the Olympics and stuff like that. That count for something. He's had a lot of amateur fights, and that's why he was been on the fast track going professional. He don't need no 30 fights before he fight for a title. He can get a title shot after his 12th fight and become a champion. Now he's looking to become a champion in another weight class in his 16th fight. He's that talented though. I just think Devin Haney, if he beats him, I'm gonna give Devin Haney a lot of credit. These guys
You
that
are.
really don't know boxing, they might try to shit on the win, but he's gonna get full credit beating a top tier guy, in my opinion, man. He doing what he got to do as a champion, defend your belt. The WBO put him as your mandatory. That ain't your fault. Ain't your fault that they put him up there. They put him up there. You get him up out of there. And you move on to the next. So I'm gonna
Now,
give him full credit.
all the fights that's been mentioned, I think that's the one fight that's possibly going to happen. That's going to be real on the books that we can see on the zone or wherever. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the one fight that we could probably guarantee is going to happen is the Keyshawn Davis and the Devin Haney fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Tank ain't nowhere near ready. They talk about 2027. And then you would have to think about what weight they're going to fight at, which would probably be at 140. And then that's got its problems in itself. And then of course, Shakur Stevenson, he looked like he just don't want no beef until he come up to 147
Yeah.
naturally. So I think the most realist fight that we're gonna get that we could be tangible, that's gonna be like boxing fans could like bet on, it's going to be the Keyshawn Davis fight because Devin don't like Rich was saying he don't want to lose his title, and no matter how boxing fans, you know what I'm saying, how they frame that, he don't want to lose his championship status, because that would totally take him out the game. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have nothing then, and people could just ignore him. So like you say, you don't have a promoter. He's doing his own thing, so he better hold on to that WBO strap. You know what I'm saying? And he better beat Keyshawn. And he better beat Keyshawn in a convincing manner. Because if he goes out there and it's a close fight, I think we'll be looking at Keyshawn Davis as WBO champion if it's a close fight. If there's too many swing rounds in there, you know what I'm saying? If it's like a 113, 114 type of situation, I don't think they're gonna give it to them. I think the WBO want to move on beyond him. I think they want to get these self promoters up out of the game. You know, um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Let me say this. Let me hop in real quick. Let me say this about the Keyshawn fight. I think that I agree with you. Like Devin probably got more experience than Keyshawn, but if you really look at Devin Haney' resume, I feel like the best fighter that he fought is Lomachenko. And Loma and Jermaine Ortiz, they fought. They was pretty much on the same level. I mean, Loma was a little bit better, but that wasn't a wash. Like Loma didn't wash Jermaine Ortiz. And I know the triangle theory, it don't really work in boxing, but what I'm trying to say is the best fighter that Devin has fought and the best fighter that Keyshawn has fought showed to be pretty much on the same level. So when I look at Keyshawn, to me, just from an eye test standpoint, I feel like Keyshawn will be the best fighter that Devin Haney has fought. I will get me personally. This is just me
Yeah.
personally. I
Okay.
think that Keyshawn will. I think that Devin will get. That will be his best win to me if he beats Keyshawn Davis. Now Loma is the Hall of Famer. Loma is the most accomplished fighter. You got to give him that. But I think that Keyshawn Davis will be the best fighter that he's fought.
You mean the most athletic fighter
No,
that
just
he
the
ever fought?
best. I think he'll be the best overall fighter
Wow,
that Devin
that's
has
saying a
fought.
lot. That's saying a
Yeah,
lot.
I believe in Keyshawn Davis. I think Keyshawn Davis, like bro was saying, I don't know which one of the guys up here that was saying this, that Keyshawn don't look like a green fighter. I agree
Yeah.
with that. Like to me, when you look at Abdullah Mason looks like a green fighter when he fights. He's a very talented fighter, but he does look like he's lacking experience. I don't see that when I look at Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis looks like the complete fighter. The only thing about Keyshawn that I kind of question a little bit is his mental. Not really IQ, but just can he deal with adversity in the ring? You know what I mean? Like sometimes
Mhm.
I feel like Keyshawn might, just that heart he got, it might get in the way. And if you want to call that experience, then I agree with you. But that's how I feel, man. I think Keyshawn is the goods, and I'm giving Devin full credit if he beat Keyshawn Davis.
I would too, but I don't think because it's Devin Haney and they for some reason, I mean, they just have a vitriol hate for the Haneys. You know, say maybe it's because Bill, but I still don't get it. It's like all fighters pop this shit. Devin don't even pop shit like that. Uh, I don't get the maybe it's because he got a dad that really gave him a good start in the sport. I don't understand the hate towards him. Um, you know what I'm saying? And it's like Devin's trying to make the fights. He's trying to make something pop. And maybe because he's a pure boxer and maybe because he don't look that good in the ring as far as knockouts and far as, what I'm saying, getting these decisions that people don't like his style. They don't like, what I'm saying, the way he fights and stuff. Because, he beat Brian Norman. Everybody thought Brian Norman was going to be the one to knock him out. Um, it's just kind of interesting. It should be a case study on how people hate Devin Haney, and they openly with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Most fighters they try to hide the fact that they hate the fighter, but with Devin, they just come, yeah, I hate that nigga. They'll say they just come straight out, and he's one of the ones that's trying to like pursue the tough fights. He's the first one to raise his hand when it comes to fighting a tough guy to try to get into the ring, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
I
You
think
know
it
what I'm
got a
saying?
lot to do with Devin Hank. With Tank. Like a lot of fans, once that whole Tank Davis and Devin Haney rivalry started, I think that's what got a lot of people turning their back on Devin. And then I think it's the way he handled that Lomachenko fight, and a lot of people thought he lost, and he got the win. I just feel like that was a big part of why people stopped liking Devin Haney
But if you
They
look
don't
at the
like
way,
Bill, man.
but if
They
you
don't
look
like
at
they
the
don't,
way,
and
if you look
Bill
at
and Bill. That's a good
yeah,
one.
they
Yeah,
don't
and
like
Bill.
if
Bill,
you look
bro.
at
That
the
got a
way
lot to do
Tank
with it.
moved, and you look at the way Devin them moved, it's like Tank the one who went down on the knee in the fight. I mean, Tank the one
Right.
said he don't want number one position. He don't care about no belts. He's the one who's saying he don't want no smoke. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
So it's
you
like he's coming out his mouth saying these things. Devin ain't saying none of that shit. So
Yes,
it's
but
like I'm just
it's a lot of these dudes ain't real men no more. Pool. See, we look at that, and Devin is a direct rival to my favorite fighter right now, which is Shakur, and I still respect Dev. You know what I mean? Like I'm still rocking with Devin Haney. You know what I
I'm just
mean? Like,
I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm like, man, I'm with the dudes who trying to make the fights. I'm with the dudes who putting it on the line, win or lose. I don't care if you
yeah,
lose or win, as long as you got the heart to go in there and take the fight. I don't want these narratives about who's a coward when people are like really trying to get in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I don't like all the fake narratives and stuff that's going on. It's like, do you want the smoke or not? You know what I'm
right.
saying? Stop trying to put people in these weird situations where, what I'm saying, it's a duck or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the way I'm looking at it is that, you saw Boosters try to fight Fundora. From there he moved on to the Josh Kelly negotiation when Fundora says fighting is mandatory. That to me, that's a fighter that's moving, trying to make the fights. You know what I'm saying? So people are saying that Devin, he's here, he's there. He's trying to get somebody to fucking fight. You know,
Yeah.
time is moving on. These fighters only have a small window to fight in their prime. So,
Hey, one
either
thing.
go ahead.
What? Oh, I was gonna say that one thing I like about Boots, man. We don't hear nothing about no money. Ain't no money complications. We ain't got no big old issue to talk about. All we hear is about who he gonna fight. And that's what the rest of these dudes got. It's too much talk and A side, B side. This dude got to bend the knee. He got to take the least amount possible in order to make a fight. Man, nobody want to hear all that, man. To me, a good fight, both of the guys should be paid appropriately, and that's all we should worry about. Put the fight on, man. And people think I'm a big Devin Haney fan. I'm a fan of all these boxers, but what I will say, if anybody's gonna make a big fight, it's gonna be Devin Haney. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If anybody gonna take on a challenge, even though I'm a Shakur guy, I'll tell you, I think he's the best one in the business. But I do think he might think a little bit more about who he gonna fight. But if anybody gonna make a big fight out of Tank, Devin, and Shakur, it's gonna be Devin Haney, man. It's gonna take on a challenge. You see what I mean? And I think but for some reason, and I think that's why, because Tank has such a big fan base, I think that's what they don't like about Devin. You see what I'm saying? He really is what they want. They want Tank to step on guys, but Tank ain't moving like that. So y'all have to act like he'll beat this guy, but Tank done told you he don't care nothing about all that. He ain't stepping on no guys. So I just think Devin get the backlash from the Tank situation. You see what I'm saying? Then, but most Tank fans don't like Shakur either. So it seems like Shakur and Devin most of the time is on the same side. You know what I mean? But,
Right.
just a bunch of politics, man.
It's almost like,
I feel like
almost
with
Devin Haney is the antithesis of Tank, because Tank knocked motherfuckers out. That's what people want to see. Devin don't go out there knocking motherfuckers out. So, he's not as exciting as Tank. Tank got that damn fan-friendly style where he's going to come out there and he's going to look at you, he's going to analyze you, he's going to break your ass down. We just want to see Tank do that against everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? But we want Tank to have Devin mentality. You know what I'm saying? And Tank don't have Devin mentality. He wants to fight who he wants to fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on. I think a lot of Tank fans, they hate Devin because they want Tank to have what Devin got. You know what I'm saying? And that's that hard. You know what I'm saying? To take on the risk. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I had to say. Well, I'm sorry. I cut somebody off.
Let me ask you this. What y'all
I'm
think
about to
about
get out
that?
here, Paul, man. Appreciate you letting me come up, man.
All right,
no
man. Take
problem.
it easy.
All
Hey,
right.
what you think about that split that Devin Haney turned down? He said Tank offered him a 70-30 split. He turned it down. I think they came back with a counter proposal of 55-45, 15 million guaranteed for each fighter. Which the PBC don't do no guarantees like that, but that was their counter offer. I don't know where they got the 50. They say DHP Promotions was offering that, so I don't know if they was offering that or was that Turkey Out of Sheik offering that. But that's the reason why the fight didn't get done, I guess, because both guys want different deals. They couldn't come to an agreement.
Well, that PBC, PBC used to offer a low front end, and then they offer you something on the back end. And see, they used to offer you something on the back end. And I don't think Devin them, they're not used to doing business like that. They want their front end money, just like Crawford. Crawford didn't want to do business with the PBC because they didn't have any front end money. So that's what took so long for them to make an agreement. You know what I'm saying? Because, Crawford is used to getting his front end money. You know what I'm saying? And PBC, they do business so weird that they want you to gamble on yourself and give you a low front end and then give you money on the back end. I don't know how much you're supposed to get all this money on the back end. Right now Floyd is suing the PBC for money that he didn't get. So we don't know what's really going on with the PBC. There's a lot of people, looking at the PBC sideways because they still talking about they PBC owed them money. Floyd suing their ass right now for money. So so I don't know. It's like when you go into negotiation with PBC, the shit is complicated. Whereas you go into negotiation with Matchroom or Golden Boy, it is what it is. You're gonna get shortchanged from Golden Boy too. That's why they don't get a lot of fights. Because of Oscar De La Hoya greedy ass. But if you agree to the terms, you need to go ahead and not complain later. Just like Floyd, you agreed to the terms. We got the Manny Pacquiao fight. We got that off, which was a good thing. It was a historical fight. But going forward, the PBC, they need to be a little bit more upfront. With how they do these negotiations, because the Rolly Romero fight would have been a excellent fight between Dev and Rolly. That would have been a great fight. if you're holding the belt, you know what I'm saying, and you can't make no goddamn deals, it's like get the hell up out the way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just crazy how these guys can't come to an agreement on what monies that should be on the table. You know what I'm saying? I'm always confused about the PBC about how they're gonna negotiate and how they do business. But with Rolly saying that he'll never fight Devin Haney, I think that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Because they all got belts, they all need to unify. Ryan Garcia is not gonna fight Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying, because of the drug testing. Because as soon as they make that fight, the drug testing comes into play, right? And
Yep.
I don't think Ryan would ever fight Dev unless he can, he can get his little boost, you know what I'm saying, because he want to repeat report performance of what he did to Dev, right? And we seen
Yeah.
what he looked like against Rolly, you know what I'm saying. We seen what he looked like, against Tank, you know what I'm saying. So we know his abilities, right? We seen what he looked
Mhm.
like against Morris Boreals, you know what I'm saying. So to me, Ryan is, he's just not he's not a straight up, straight up fighter, right? You know what I'm saying? Unless he has the advantage. And I really don't think he gives a damn like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he bragged about steroids and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So I really don't really like to consider Ryan Garcia because I look at him as a cheater. But at the same time, he's holding a belt, you know. So you got two of the belts that's not accessible to a Devin Haney, to the fighters that really want to get in the ring and prove that they're the best. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of bullshit that's going on in boxing. So we can't get these guys, you know what I'm saying, figure out, you know what I'm saying, who's the best. So we just got to wait and see how this shit shakes out, man. But I do want to see Devin fight Keyshawn Davis, and I think that'll be one of the biggest doors that we could close once them guys get it on. And then we'll see how Shakur. They will talk about Shakur and what's his name, Gary
Oh,
Russell.
shot. Oh, Gary Russell. Oh, Gary
Gary
Russell.
Russell. Yeah,
Antoine. Yeah, Gary
yeah.
Antoine
When
Russell.
Gary
Yeah.
Russell pulled this card, he said, "Okay, let's go." You know what I'm saying? But now it look like Shakur don't want to fight Gary Russell. Now I think he'll beat Gary Russell. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll beat Gary Russell because Gary Russell is straight up and down. He's an explosive fighter. You know what I'm saying? But I think his style don't have enough. He don't have enough.
Wrinkles in it.
Yeah, it just don't have it, bro. I think Shakur just turned that motherfucker all night long, hit him with a check left hook, and that'll be the fight. Cause I've been waiting on Gary Antoine Russell to show me something else in his game, and it's like he just don't convince me as being a fighter that could deal with a Shakur Stevenson or a Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? I think he knows that too. But for Shakur not to fight that guy, it's like, who does Shakur want to fight? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they say he got a deal on the table, a deal signed with Zuffa Boxing. Dan Raphael, he reported that a couple of days ago through his sources. He cited sources saying that he signed with Zuffa, multi-fight deal. And now I don't know if that's Zuffa like Zuffa or that's Zuffa Ring, which will, if it's
Oh
Zuffa
my
Ring,
bad.
it'll probably open the door for him still to get good fights, defend his belt at 140 and still fight the top guys at 140. But if he's going over there to Zuffa, then that's gonna really be another obstacle to make it harder for him to get fights with guys like Tank Davis or guys like that's outside of Zuffa. Even the Devin Haney, if he's outside of Zuffa, that'll make it more difficult to make those type of fights. Now he gonna get the bag, I'm hearing, for fighting with Zuffa, so he probably don't care. You get 15 million to fight, you'll fight a Rayo who fights over there. You'll fight a Julian Rodriguez or somebody like that. Get the bag. It don't matter. You get your 15 million. You don't care who it is. You're getting that guarantee off the rip. So, and we'll see what happens, man. But as far as Devin Haney and Keyshawn Davis, I think that fight actually gonna go to purse bid. But I do think Top Rank gonna bid some good money on that fight because you got to keep your fighter happy too. You got Keyshawn Davis over there. If you bid like say you could be like, oh, ain't nobody else gonna bid on this fight. I'm gonna bid 3 million. Yeah, then that mean Haney gonna get 2 million, and what Keyshawn gonna get 500,000. He probably made more than that in his last couple of fights. Jermaine Ortiz and Albright, he might have made more than that. So I think they're gonna bid a good number because they got a fighter that's only getting 25%. So I think that's gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna get done. I think Devin Haney's gonna have to take short money because he made a lot of money in his last fight, but he's still gonna get paid pretty good. I think he probably get at least 5 million for the fight. And I think Keyshawn to get around 2 or 3 million or something like that with the first bid that Top Rank puts out. Maybe they put a $8-9 million bid on it. Well, both guys can make some decent money. So I'm gonna be looking forward to that fight. It's gonna be a good fight. And if Devin Haney beats him, man, he gets full credit, man, beating the guy with the skill set and the mindset of Keyshawn Davis.
Well, let me ask both of you guys this. Okay, they got Teofimo Lopez, who just took a loss to Shakur Stevenson, fighting, giving him another title opportunity against Rolly Romero. Okay, so I was telling people, my thoughts is that Rolly Romero done got a lot better, bro. I mean, I know T.O., you know what I'm saying? He done got experience with Shakur Stevenson and everything, but it's his mentality that I think that's inferior. And I think Rolly Romero let them things go. I think he will beat Teofimo Lopez, bro.
I got
I think
T.O. in that fight.
you got T.O. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
I got Rolly. I agree with you, Punch. I gotta agree with you.
I
Oh,
think
agree.
I think Rolly Romero will come in there like a caveman because he don't give a damn. And I don't think T.O. got knockout power like that. Unless T.O. is like a retarded person. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to hit him with something like Tank did. You know what I'm saying? To get his respect. Because he gonna keep coming, bro. And I think T.O. don't have the confidence to deal with a fighter. Because I think Tank said, man, Rolly Romero can crack, bro. He said Rolly Romero. And I think once he cracked T.O., I think all his confidence is gonna go down to negative 65. You know what I'm saying? Once he see how Rolly crack and crack start bullying him, and then Rolly will start bullying it, T.O. in the ring. He done already took a loss to Shakur Stevenson. I think it's the end for T.O. once he fights Rolly Romero. You know what I'm saying? Unless this time out the ring affect Rolly. Man, Rolly done got better, y'all, as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like he's, you know, like he's a top guy, but I think he could deal with Teofimo Lopez. I
Yeah,
think
Tio needs to change. He need to get a trainer, man. He need to he need to put his dad. I'm not saying fire his dad, but he need to put his dad down to assistant trainer, get a head trainer in there. You know, that's what he should be doing. Because I do think Rolly got the advantage with the Conum. You know, he changed Trailer. He got rid of Bullet and went to that other guy. I think a Latino guy, and he's gotten much better. He's got a decent jab. A lot of people ain't talking about that. He got a decent jab. I think his jab is actually better than Teofimo Lopez's jab. So I think he's got the power advantage. We ain't seen the power with T.O. since he left 135. And you look at T.O., he get touches in all his fight. He gets touched up. He fought Claggett. He got touched up. Guys that should be touching him up, be touching him up. So don't act like T.O. is just some great defensive fighter, some great knockout artist, which he ain't shown since he left 135. So I do like Rolly, from what I've been seeing recently. Pull, you make a good point that he's been out the ring so long, so that could play a factor. We seen that in the De Los Santos fight with Rayo, the rematch. When you out the ring that long, you just never know. T.O. just fought in January when he lost to Shakur, so he been more active, so that could play a part. But based on what I've seen recently, I think Rolly has looked better than T.O. has, and I think he has a power advantage and he has a better jab than T.O. So I like Rolly in the fight.
Okay,
yeah,
I
man.
like T.O. in the fight because I feel like Rolly is tailor made for T.O. Like I feel like T.O. can do exactly what Tank did to Rolly and walk him right into a shot and knock him out. I think T.O. is athletic enough. And I mean, yeah, I get it. The power ain't translated since 135. But I just think that Rolly is he's just not on the level of T.O. when it comes to just, brains and just experience, to where I feel like T.O. can get it done against him, because when you look at the Arnold Barbosa fight, T.O. looked good in that fight. It was just the Shakur fight that T.O. didn't look good. You know what I mean? So I feel like going up to 147, I just think that T.O. will be able to walk Rolly into some shots and possibly stop him.
Yeah, he's the more fluid fighter. Nobody about T.O. is more fluid. He's more naturally gifted than Rolly. He's more fluid. He's
Yeah.
more twitchier than Rolly. Make no mistake about it. But it's just, I think he just need to get another corner, man. I think he need to hone his skill. He's kind of capped out his skill level. Said he ain't really got no better than me. T.O. He reached
Yeah.
a certain point when he beat Loma, and then he beat Drain Taylor, Josh Taylor. But he seems like he ain't really got no better since then. And I've seen improvement by Rolly, and I think the power that Rolly brings to the table, I think he's just more consistent, and he got a better understanding of who he is as a boxer than Teofimo Lopez. What is Teofimo Lopez's style? He don't really have a defined style he fight. He just kind of fights off a field, and it's gotten him this far. But when you go and fight these guys at that top level, you know, you're gonna need to bring more than that to the table. And I just think he's kind of capped off. And if he were to get a new trainer or somebody to maybe enhance his skills, I probably would give him a better chance. But he gonna have his daddy in there training him, and I don't think he's gonna get no better. And I think Rolly knows what he is right now, and I think he's gonna beat him with consistency and knowing what he is as a fighter. It's not gonna be about talent. If it's about talent, yeah, Tio he's a more talented fighter, but I just think he's kind of lost as a fighter really right now. So I go with Rolly in the fight.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I ain't mad at that, because I mean I could see where y'all coming from. I'm following the logic, but to me, I just feel like I would agree with everything you saying if the fighter was a more higher caliber fighter than Rolly, because I do see the improvements in Rolly, and I do feel like T.O. is capped off. But I just think that they're two, where T.O. capped off at, Rolly might be getting better, but it still ain't on T.O.'s level. You know what I mean? So I just think Rolly will be able to. T.O. will be able to figure it out. But I wouldn't be surprised, because one thing that I will say about Rolly is he looks strong as hell at 147. So he did have that behind him. Like, that motherfucker looked like a tank up there at 147. So, you know, if he can hurt T.O., then, you know, it could be problems. But I just feel like T.O. being as crafty as he is, the more experienced fighter, just overall coming from the amateurs, he started way younger. I just think that all that'll play into the fight, and somebody like T.O. will be able to figure somebody like Rolly out.
What time the fight comes on tonight, y'all?
7:00.
7:30.
Okay,
At
so
7:00, the main card start.
okay, so
Real quick before I get off of here, Pool, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to tap in later. I'm gonna try to, but what y'all think about Devin turning down that Tank offer?
because I mean he's gonna have to make too many concessions. Tank ain't gonna be ready till 2027. You know, they
Yeah,
already
yeah.
said, yeah.
They said it was 70-30 with a 144-pound catch weight with no rehydration clause. That's what they said. So it wasn't gonna be no rehydration clause for what they were saying. I don't know if that's true. I ain't in negotiation, but they said it was gonna be 144, no rehydration clause.
Right.
And it was gonna be 70-30 for Tank. But you know, Haney was like, you ain't the big man like you used to be. I'm not taking no 70-30 deal from you.
Right.
They probably would have took 55-45, but they weren't gonna take 70-30.
And then where's Tank gonna find time for this when he got all these legal problems and stuff? You know, he's gonna be training, and the
Yeah,
police gonna come get him. He already got a warrant
I
out
mean,
for him.
but I
that's
mean
that's
that ain't got nothing to do with. I mean, at this point, Devin, that's up to Devin if he decide that he want to take that
Right.
with Tank having them charges over his head. But to me, I'm just looking at it because, you know, everybody got on Shakur when Shakur turned down 25% against Devin, and now Devin turning down 30% against Tank. It's like, to me,
Yeah,
that's the same
but
shit.
Tank ain't got 3 belts. He's not undisputed at 135. Dev had
But
what, 4 belts for
right.
Shakur. You
But
know what I'm saying?
Pool, I'm glad you said that, because Pool, remember when we was on here last time and we was talking about Hall of Fame, and you said it's about who you fight more so than the belts.
Yeah, but Tank ain't shit now. You know what I'm saying? Tank. I mean, if
Okay.
Tank would have kept his reputation up, yeah, he's the face of boxing as far as people want to see him. But I mean, look at Dev. They'll be going backwards. When you talk about boxing, it's about the higher weight classes. The higher weight class you go is where you get credit, not going down. You don't go down and get credit. You go up and get credit. Like if Shakur was to challenge Devin, he would get credit for going up a weight class. You don't get credit for going down. You don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? And
But
then Tank don't care about no belts. He don't care about no legacy. All he want to do is fight who he want to fight. And then he looked bad in his last goddamn fight. It's like that's why he needed to fight Lamont Roach back and go in there and knock him out so he get that back. Dev need to go fight uh Ryan Garcia and get that back. See what I'm saying? That you gotta redeem yourself. These fighters don't care about that shit in this day and era. You know what I'm saying? He needed to go directly back. That's who he need to fight is Lamont Roach. That's who he need to fight. They'll need to fight Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They need to redeem themselves. You know, much as I like Deb, I want him to get back
yeah,
and show that he can withstand Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? All this other side stuff, you know what I'm saying? No, you got to go back and make sure people know that you that dude. You that dude that, you know, that was a mistake. You went down on your knee because you got a little grease in your eye. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Let's see what was really going on. Can you beat Lamont Roach? Now he's fighting Zapata. So, you know, we're just in an era where guys are letting the moment slip, you
Right,
know, and
right.
Tank don't really care about it like that. So, you know, I really just don't take Tank seriously.
Yeah,
Uh Now if he went up there and knocked that Dev, you know what I'm saying? I'll eat my crow. If he
yeah,
goes up there and knock out Dev, and I'm not saying that he can't, but the way he moving, it's just kind of hard to get behind it, you
yeah,
know. And then he got all this other shit going on. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all about moving the sport forward. I don't know if he just did that just because Dev is getting a lot of shine right now. And you know, he don't like Dev, you know what I'm saying? You know, because everything he's just trying to get his name out there, clout chasing. Um, you know, these guys got to get out of this social media shit, man, and like really get the fights in while they're young. You know, they're not gonna be young forever. And if they keep bullshitting, they're gonna miss the legacy. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? They're gonna miss the legacy. Um, yeah, but I really don't look at it as the same situation. You
Yeah.
know, I
To
mean, I just
me,
think that. Go ahead.
Now, I was just gonna say, to me, I look at it as the same situation because they both had opportunities to fight one of the guys that's, in their era, one of them, a real legacy fight, somebody that's supposed to be like a rival to them. And to me, I'm just looking at it like, okay, Shakur, yeah, he got offered the undisputed, but Tank, to me, Tank is the face of boxing. You beat Tank, you getting everything. You know what I mean? Yeah, you might not get the legacy behind it, but Devin just said in an interview recently, he not really tripping on the legacy. That's why he's even considering dropping the belt to fight Shakur Stevenson.
But that
So
is
it's
legacy. To fight Shakur,
right,
let
but
me
it's
tell
the
you something.
same
A
to
lot of
fight
people
Tank
look.
though. Pool,
A
that's
lot
what
of
I'm trying to
people, a
say.
lot of people look down on Shakur, but Shakur is a better fight than the Keyshawn Davis fight. Keyshawn ain't shit. Keyshawn ain't
Right,
nobody.
right,
You know what I'm
but this
saying?
what I'm
But
trying to say.
I
I
understand
get
what
you.
you're saying about Tank, but he missed his opportunity when Dale was down there at 135 trying to fight him. Dale was at one time undisputed, and he still couldn't get nobody to fight him. You know,
Right.
he tried Lomachenko. Lomachenko passed him up.
Yeah.
He had to fight Jorge Linares, who almost knocked Dev out. Even though Dev, almost got knocked out in that fight, he tried to fight. He fought him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like Dev is taking the fights, y'all. It's like y'all favorite fighter is not trying to face that dude. They don't want him. They done
Right, but this
sparred.
is this is an opportunity for him to take the fight though. This is what I'm saying.
To you, Dev is at 147. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
but he can fight Shakur at 144, but he can't
There's
fight
no,
Tank at
here's what
144.
you're not looking at, Jay. There's no guarantee that that fight gonna happen with all the shit around Tank. With everything going on, and all of a sudden
Okay.
Tank just come out of nowhere. When Tank
Right,
is when Dev is in negotiation with Shakur Stevenson, he's in
right,
negotiation with Keyshawn Day. Here come Tank. Where the
right.
fuck you come from? What
Yeah,
what's
and
what
that
what you own? Like them people in Chicago say, what you own?
yeah,
What are you on, bro? Why are you all of a sudden popping out of the shadows? You got warrants and shit. You think people can't Google that shit? You got warrants and shit. You don't even know if you're going to be free next year, nigga. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Look, I don't agree. I mean, I agree with you because to me, I'm looking at it like, all right, Devin, I just don't like what Devin is doing on the internet because I think a lot of it is bullshit to get the fans going. So my whole point of even saying that was about the tanking because I don't believe it either. I don't believe that Tank is trying to fight Devin Haney. In fact, I would be shocked if he actually would fight Devin Haney right now, coming off the layoff that he's coming off, and just going up in weight and fighting Devin Haney. My whole point is this character that Devin and Bill is playing on the internet. Now this is a situation where it's backfiring on them to me. So I'm just trying to see if the same people that's eating up everything that he's doing on the internet in a positive way is going to look at this situation the same way because
I
when he
just
when
told
he
you
on
though. Tank quit boxing, bro. Tank is the only fucking fighter that quit boxing in his prime, nigga. He like fuck boxing, fuck the fans, and he was going to take a damn Jake Paul fight over the damn Lamont Roach fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's staying so much legal problems. So to a businessman, Devin and all the other fights, Shakur, even Shakur, they're after them M's. They want real fucking money. So why would you mess that up? Get off your course against something that's unsure. Yeah, I'm not talking about his talent. I'm not talking about Tank talent, but he got shit he need to clean up.
Yeah.
You know, he got shit he need to clean up. He can't just mention his name and get on Twitter and say, you know, none of these niggas are trash and nobody's on my level. Nigga, you haven't fought nobody. You've been out of boxing what? Tank would have been out of boxing for what, a year and a half now? He getting like Errol Spence Jr. You would have think somebody beat his ass and shit like Crawford and destroyed him. He done been on a hiatus. You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna come back and have some say so? And I would have respected it more if you would have went out there and destroyed Lamont Roach and then challenged Devin.
Right.
Then I would have been like, Dev, and you look like Dev want that fight. Dev would take that fight with Tank. You know what I'm saying? Dev would take that fight with Tank, but it's got to be a fight that can happen. It's got to be a fight that can happen. So I think Devin needs to keep it safe because they're trying to get that belt. They're trying to trick him out that belt. Go ahead and fight Keyshawn Davis and see what happens with that, and then see how you're going to move from there. Because right now, there's a lot of narratives that, the Haney's are bullshitting. Why do you care if they bullshitting? You know what I'm saying? It's like a fight's going to happen out of somewhere. Somebody's got to fight somebody. So it look like Keyshawn Davis is the mandatory. Let's get that fight. That's a fight that can happen. This fantasy shit where they talking about 144 and Devin Shakur telling me why he picking on me. Why he picking on me? You know what I'm saying?
I
Like, bro,
think
get
that's
out of
gonna
here
be
with
the. I
that shit.
think that's gonna be the fight though, Pool. This my last thing on it. I think Devin and Shakur is gonna fight at 144 because when you look at it, all these Zuffa fighters, these guys that are like they names is tied to Zuffa. When you look at Conor Ben and Ryan Garcia, Devin, Shakur, all these guys been available for a long time, and none of their fights have gotten announced. So I don't know what Zuffa waiting on for sure, but I think they waiting on something, and I think that's gonna be the fight. I think it's they just waiting to announce it. Everything is just to get us hype and get us talking, keeping the fight alive. But then here pretty soon, I think it's gonna be Shakur and Devin. I think Devin gonna end up dropping that belt because I mean Shakur just said it on X yesterday. He like shit. You can put it in a contract that you gonna drop the belt whenever I sign the contract. So you can't say that I'm playing games to where I'm gonna make you drop the belt and then duck out of the fight and all that shit. He said you can put it in the contract that
Okay.
that once I
I'm old
sign,
like Madlock. I'm old like Madlock. Let me ask you a question. How
yeah.
does that help Shakur Stevenson, him dropping the belt? How does that help? Now I'm just this is from that point of view, from that
Right.
aspect. How
I
does that
just
help?
think I don't think
How
it
does
helps
that
him.
help
I
Shakur
think it
Stevenson?
I think it helps Keyshawn. I think he's trying to help
No.
Keyshawn.
I ask you, how does it help
Yeah, it
Shakur?
don't help him at all.
So doesn't that tell you a lot? You know what I'm saying? It's like you keep talking about drop the belt. Why don't you drop the belt? It's like, dude, worry about your motherfucking career. It's like, why are you
No.
worried about him dropping his belt for this dude? This dude ain't got shit to do with you. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
you from the damn city of God, nigga. You should be worried about your own shit. You know what I'm saying? Eating dirt sandwiches and shit. You know what I'm saying? You need to worry about your career. Why are you worried about this man dropping the belt? No, just sign the goddamn contract so people can see that you about what you say you about. Why are you
yeah,
worried
no.
about Keyshawn, Popeye bastard? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like, come on. It's like I get tired of this damn game shit. Like, trying to make Devin look bad when the man trying to make the fight. You
But
got to
that's what
deal
I'm
with.
saying, Paul. That's the internet though. The internet is what Devin is doing on the internet. He's doing a great job of making the fans be on his side based on what he's saying and how he's doing on the internet. But why this man done been available since when did he fight? In December or November?
Yeah,
What
November. November.
November. And why this dude ain't got no fight yet? All he doing on the internet is stirring up bullshit.
Mm,
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
mm-hmm.
when is he gonna actually fight somebody? That's the thing about Devin. It's like, yeah, I'm with you. I see the internet game. Like I said when I first got on here, Shakur, and as far as in the public, I cannot defend Shakur because he looking like he weird out here, how he moving. So I can't defend him. I got to sit back, but I'm just trying to
Yeah,
decipher through the
figure it out.
bullshit.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I'm trying to decipher through the bullshit and and see what's really going on. Like, yeah, Devin is saying all the right things in the public. Everybody, as far as if you a real boxing fan and you want this shit to go how, as far as boxing, how a fan wanted to go, you looking at Devin Haney and you respecting it. But I just think it's some bullshit behind the fact that you done been in 4 or 5 negotiations this year and you still don't have a fight. You know
Well,
what I'm
but that's the
saying?
conspiracy. That's the conspiracy part of it. Because I don't think they want Devin Haney. I think they keep trying to push him up against Boots. I'm looking at the propaganda of it. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want Devin at 147. They keep telling, why don't he go up? Because one thing Shakur Stevenson said, why don't he go up and fight Boots? Now all of a sudden I hear the media putting Boots against Dev. Now they doing analyzations of Dev beating Boots. So I was like,
I
wait
think
a
that's a
minute. It's
good
almost like
fight.
it's up. Well, right. But what I'm saying that all of a sudden it's a narrative now. Just because Shakur Stevenson mentioned it. It's a narrative now.
Well,
Come on, man.
I think it was a narrative when Boots got the offer to fight Devin Haney. Well, they both got the offer and supposedly neither one of them wanted to do the fight at
But but
152.
but but Devin just got to 147. Why in the hell would
But
people
but
be asking him to go up to fight Boots? You know what I'm saying? It's like
right,
he's
but
trying to
Poole,
make
that
all these.
same thing is what people asking Shakur to do. Shakur is on his 4th weight class. He
Man,
just
nobody gives a damn about Shakur. I mean, he
But
already.
that's what I'm seeing. You see what I'm saying? You wanna coddle Devin and say
No,
why you want him to
it's not.
go up
It's,
there?
it's not about coddling. It's about this dude. He got 100 fights he can fight at 135. Pick one, my nigga. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I'm
You got
with you.
old Shaky Foster. Nigga, you
Right,
got Raymond Martaleave. You got anybody at 135 is good. You can
right,
fight. You can fight Abdullah Mason.
right,
Nobody is forcing you to fight at 147. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Nobody. Pick a fight, my nigga, and fight
Yeah.
somebody. Why are
And
you
that's
worried
why
about
that's
that?
why I think the bullshit that's that right there, what you just said is where I think the bullshit is, because I think that the problem is that Zuffa got these dudes on hold, and
Mm,
I think Shakur is
mm.
deciding that he's not playing the internet games. Devin is playing them. Devin is doing his part in making his name hot in the public, but I think that they all know that we on hold and we can't do shit right now because we about to sign the Zuffa. You know what
Mm.
I mean? That's what I
Right.
think is really going on. So, I mean,
Well,
we can just
I think that's the thing for Gary Russell them because they want to make a contract deal with Zuffa. I said that a while back, as you remember, that a lot of these guys are on hold for Zuffa, and they don't want to take a loss without getting that fat contract. They want to see what Zuffa going to offer them, but then Zuffa might be telling them, hey man, if you look good in your next fight, you know what I'm saying, we can chop it up, you know what I'm saying, if you look good in your next fight. But that's why I don't think Gary Russell really want to fuck with Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Because if he lose, then he's gonna lose some status and a
right,
contract opportunity. Because if they sign Richard Hitchison, goddamn it, I mean they'll sign anybody. They'll sign
right,
anybody. If they sign Rich, they gave him a good deal. Goddamn. You know what I'm
right,
saying? They would fight. Everybody could get a contract. T.O. could get I think T.O. already signed with Zuffa
right.
boxing. I think he
Yeah,
already signed with it. So they
yeah,
trying to
no,
get. Go ahead.
yeah, he gonna fight Rolly though. That's gonna be a PBC promoted card. But they all with the same manager, Keith Conley, T.O. William, Richard Hitchison, and Berlanga. Richard Hitchison and Berlanga, they already over there at Zuffa. I think T.O. after this Rolly fight, like you said, he possibly can go to Zuffa after the Rolly fight. So yeah, that's
But
what's going on.
But because, what I'm saying, we're gonna come back and watch this fight, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to sign off right now, you know what I'm saying, so we can come back and we're gonna catch this fight. We're gonna have a watch party, you know what I'm saying, watch Abdullah Mason and your boy Albert the Prince Bell. You know what I'm saying? What you said it start at 7. The preliminary start at
Yeah,
7
we
or
got Shushu Carrington on the card. He going against some guy
oh
name, I think Ramo. That stat down got me pumped up, boy. That boy Ramos was talking a lot of noise. I really wasn't too geeked about that fight, but you know, Shushu, he always seemed to be in good fights though. He be
Man, that
competitive
nigga
until
be in
Shushu
some
knock him
good
out.
fights. Yes, that boy be. I mean, that last fight he had was hell, bro. That
Yeah.
was.
He
Woo,
was behind. I had him behind before the knockdown. I had that dude beat him
he
before that
was.
knockdown. Yep.
He was, man. Shushu had to pull that shit out at the end, and boy, did he do
Yep.
it.
Then you got Tiger
All right, cool.
Johnson.
I'll get with
Tiger
you. I'll get
Johnson was
with
on the
y'all,
card.
bro.
All right, take it
Okay.
easy.
All right, Jay.
All right, yeah, Tiger Johnson on the card too, man. That's he's up under Bomac. Bomac is training him, so I want to see the kind of improvement I see with Tiger Johnson. You know, he's at 147, so that's another player at the welterweight division. He fighting a guy that's I think is undefeated too, so that's gonna be the first two fights. You got Tiger Johnson with Bomac fighting undefeated guy, and then you got Shushu defending his belt at 126. Hopefully, if he get the win today, he'll get a unification at 126. And then you got Bell versus Abdullah Mason. So real strong card from top to bottom. I think he got his brothers fighting too on the prelims. His two younger brothers, Abdullah Mason brothers, are fighting on the prelim card.
Let me see. All right, yeah, we're gonna come. Excuse me.
But I don't know when the prelims come. The prelims probably gonna start a little earlier. The main card started at 7. The prelims probably gonna start around 5:30. That'll probably be on YouTube or whatever. You know how the prelims come through. So that'll be the two younger brothers. I want to look at them because I haven't really seen his two younger brothers fight Abdullah. So they're gonna be fighting I think they're gonna be fighting in a couple of 4-rounders. So I want to check them out, see how they look in the prelims.
All right, we're gonna be back then. You know what I'm saying? I got to go get something to eat and all that stuff with the wife. And we'll be back then. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for everybody for coming through the 300 up in here strong. You know what I'm saying? Aircraft carrier, everybody, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back up in here and watch and see what Abdullah, the young champion, do against some Bell. And I hope everybody come in. Thank you for coming through, man. See you guys at 7. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back on at 7. Peace out, y'all.
All right, peace out, Pool.
All right now.